The Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network is proud to present baseball from Greensboro, North Carolina, the D3 Showcase on a Friday night featuring two top-ranked teams. It's number 6, Lynchburg, and number 2, Salisbury. Hello, baseball fans. My name is Kyle Haney, coming to you live, a quick, not stealth broadcast, but a broadcast that we put together really quickly. We made it work. Big thanks to Tim LaDuca, the Director of Athletic Communications at Lynchburg, and, of course, just an all-around great guy. We hustled down here. We got this set up. It's a one-camera setup, so we might, treat it more like a radio broadcast vibe. We've done that before, but I guess technically it's our first LHSN baseball broadcast of the season. The defending national champion Lynchburg Hornets. So excited to be able to say that. We will be back at home Wednesday as Lynchburg will be hosting Pfeiffer. But the Hornets down here in Greensboro, North Carolina for this cool D3 showcase event. It's got some great teams. Schedule has been adjusted due to some weather. We had some rain, not only in North Carolina here, but some rain in central Virginia this morning and this afternoon. So Lynchburg was originally set to play 2 games today. It's just going to be 1. It looks like we are close to first pitch, so we wanted to come on and get things cranked up for you. We appreciate you tuning in. And it may be a little bit, as I said, thrown together here, or not our highest preparation of the season and not our highest quality either. But we think it's going to be pretty darn good for what we've got going on. And we do think we're going to have some great baseball, too. The Salisbury Seagulls, second-ranked team in the country, is the opponent. And this is a team like Lynchburg that was in Cedar Rapids last year for the D3 National Championship. And they were actually on the same side of the bracket as Lynchburg, but these teams never ended up matching up. Of course, Lynchburg took down Wisconsin Lacrosse in Game 1. They beat East Texas Baptist a couple times. And then it was a couple wins over Johns Hopkins to get the national championship last year. But I know we're still all on cloud 9 from that last season. So we'll be talking about that some in this game, I'm sure. And then hopefully the action on the diamond is enough to take center stage, and we'll end up just talking about that. But, yeah, Wesley Arrington is out there taking the warm-up tosses already for Lynchburg. So you know we're that close to first pitch. Tim LaDuca is our official scorer tonight, and he's just a few feet away from me. So if we have questions about hit or error, Tim is going to give us the answers. And there is a decent crowd here. We got to chat with some Lynchburg fans. Tim is not the official scorer. Is that what we're being told? Oh, boy, that's going to be fun. We were just having a laugh about Tim is statting the game for both teams' statistical purposes, but there is another official score at the ballpark. So that's the breakdown there. Anyway, we were talking about Wesley Arrington. The Sheriff is on the mound. Actually 0-1 on the season. These are not the first games of the year for either of these two ball clubs. Lynchburg was on the road in Alabama at the Birmingham Southern opening weekend event that they've been going to for a few years now. Lynchburg lost Game 1 to East Texas Baptist. Another kind of a wild spin, the fact that Lynchburg would play Game 1 of this season against a team that they beat twice in Cedar Rapids, a talented East Texas Baptist ball club that is also ranked in the top 10. But Lynchburg, with the one loss there, then they did pick up wins on Saturday and Sunday. Hard-fought victory on Sunday. Thriller there. We can try to recap those some, but, we're underway. Let's go around the diamond here defensively. We've got Josh Jorman at first base. We'll have Ben Jones playing second. Brandon Garcia is starting at shortstop. And Gavin Collins at third base back in the mix. This will be his first action of the year. He was a little bit late getting started with some injury issues, but great to see Gavin Collins back out there. In the outfield, in left field, it'll be Quinn Madden. O'Kelly McWilliams, the fourth, is in center field. And then in right field, Bryce Demery. I think I actually switched those two. Bryce Demery is in left. Quinn Madden is in right. Wesley Arrington gets across with a strike for first pitch. Okay, he went with something off speed on his second delivery, and that's a ball. 1-1 count. Yeah, we got no box score info, no score bug on our screen, so I'll have to make sure, like a radio call, I give you the count and the outs and the runs and all that situational stuff a bit more in the broadcast. So I'm not in midseason form, but we'll give it our best shots. 2-1 now as Arrington missed back-to-back times. The catcher is Sean Pokerock. Sean Pokerock's been dealing with some injury issues, but Pokey's back behind the dish as the battery mate for Wesley Arrington. Fastball comes in high, and now it's a 3-1 count on Alex Craig for Salisbury, starting center fielder. I'll run down the rest of the Seagull lineup after this delivery here. We'll try to get some info about Salisbury. They were the national champions 2 years ago. They were in the national title game in 2022. Here's the rest of that lineup after a foul ball to the right side of the ballpark. It's Alex Craig leading off, playing center. Kyle Brex is batting second, playing second. Danny Sheeler is the first baseman, hitting third. In the cleanup spot is the designated hitter, Dylan Weinbrenner. Tim Pucciarelli is in right field, hitting fifth. Ben Anderson, the catcher, batting sixth. Adam Tomer in left field, who is wearing number 7 and playing the 7 spot and hitting 7th. At shortstop, batting 8th is Max Earhart. And the third baseman rounding out the lineup is Trent Ware. Tyler Villa is the pitcher, starting pitcher for Salisbury. It's a full count after a couple foul balls. Arrington comes down the middle. That ball's hit up the middle. First base hit of the ball game. Gets past the sprinting Brandon Garcia. Loud roar from the Salisbury dugout, and the Seagulls have the leadoff man on to begin the ball game. We are in the top of the first inning here at First National Bank Field, downtown Greensboro. Tim and I had a great trip down here. Got to go by North Carolina A&T, took in some of the local flavor and culture at a quick rest stop, and we're here. Runner on. Kyle Brex is the second baseman, batting second, shows the bunt, fouls it back in our direction, but it hits the screen, and that's strike one. Wes Arrington, the pitcher that just delivered when his ball club needed it the most in Cedar Rapids last year and throughout the season, but specifically a complete game against East Texas Baptist to get Lynchburg in the championship series against Johns Hopkins. And then Wesley, of course, came back on short rest and got the save against Johns Hopkins in that decisive, if necessary, championship game 3. What a thrill ride that was. Throws over to keep an eye on Craig and sent Josh Jorman scrambling to keep it on the infield dirt. Good hustle there by Jorman. Josh Jorman, an outstanding defensive first baseman. Pretty darn good hitter as well for Josh Jorman. We'll talk about that when he gets to the plate, but he was the batting average leader for Lynchburg. Fastball, outer third there. Good precision by Wesley Arrington, and it's an 0-2 count. Brex showed the bunt and fouled it back. Bunt was not on that time. And now Brex is saddled with an 0-2 count. Lynchburg defense, double play depth. Jones and Garcia up the middle and Gavin Collins at third. This is an infield combo we saw a lot last season. Also Josh Jorman very much factoring into this defensive alignment until his injury, of course, in that first round ODAC matchup with Bridgewater. Outfield is actually played the opposite way. Oh, got Craig leaning. He's in the rundown now. Garcia's going to try to run him down. Flicks back to Jorman, and he got him with the tag. And Lynchburg will get the first out on the base paths there as Craig was leaning. Good snap throw by Wesley Arrington. Just kind of a short arm, fast toss over there. And we've talked about Wesley Arrington in the past, about how his arm action is generally a little bit shorter as far as a power thrower goes. And Wes is power arm, upper 80s with the fastball, can touch 90. I think we could even see him in the low 90s some as the season goes on and the weather warms up. 5-hopper to Ben Jones, no problem there. And Lynchburg's now got the second out of the inning rather easily. Craig retired on the bases, and Kyle Brex bounces to Ben Jones at second base. This will bring up number 2, Danny Sheeler, the first baseman for Salisbury. Pronunciation for Salisbury is always kind of fun. Some people will say Salisbury, and I don't think anybody's going to be offended if you say that, but I think they prefer Salisbury. Isn't that right, Tim? Tim's working. He can't hear me right now. We're also trying to keep an eye on that Lynchburg women's basketball team that's up in Salem for the ODAC tournament right now, quarterfinal. Here's the ball pulled by Sheeler. Slight bobble by Ben Jones, but he's got time to make the toss to first base. And just like that, the first half inning is in the books. Not quite a true 3 up, 3 down, but Salisbury only sends 3 to the plate, 1 base hit. And Lynchburg's coming up to bat in the bottom of the first. We'll step aside and get ourselves together here next on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, a special production from Greensboro, North Carolina. I don't know if we've quite got it together all the way here with the short-staffed LHSN broadcast, but we're ready for the bottom of the first inning. It'll be Brandon Garcia leading off for the University of Lynchburg, the defending national champions last season. Wow. We will no doubt be talking about that, not just this year, but for years to come. It's really probably tough as a broadcaster to find the balance between talking about this season and revisiting last year and just those memories. Ball 1 in there to Brandon Garcia, the left-handed hitting shortstop. Sounded like the Garcia family and the Jones family were happy to have a North Carolina game, a game in the state of North Carolina, because if you don't know, Brandon Garcia and Ben Jones, both from the Durham area. They're strike 1 on Hollywood. Brandon Garcia, got a great preseason interview with him that is on the Lynchburg social media destinations. You need to check that out, and we got to talk to a few other players as well. Oh, that one scrambled Brandon Garcia, and it will be ball 2. Lynchburg is in black tops with white pants. It's red and white trim around the jersey, black helmets there. Hard hack by Garcia, sends it the opposite way. It is a foul ball. 2-2 count coming up for Brandon Garcia. Salisbury's pitcher is Tyler Villa, maybe Villa. We're scrambling for a pronunciation guide on Salisbury's website right now. But he appears to be a solid, hard-throwing right-hander. Salisbury's got a yellow top on to go with their burgundy-red combo that they have. I believe the pants are gray for the Seagulls. Outstanding athletic program, not just baseball for Salisbury, but all the way around. If you plugged into any D3 sports at all, you've heard about the Seagulls, I'm sure. We got people listening and checking in and watching. Try to give some shout-outs here in a little bit. 2-2 again to Brandon Garcia. Fastball upstairs. The count is full. Temperature is dropping in Greensboro, but still a very nice night to play. Maybe by the end of the game, we might be talking about a chill to the air. Here's a pitch from Villa, just missed. Brandon Garcia will take a walk to start the offensive portion of the game for Lynchburg. Garcia so good with the eye, plate discipline, second to none. Lynchburg was so good about that last year, taking walks, getting hit by pitches. And we had the funny moment in Cedar Rapids when Lynchburg won that first game against East Texas Baptist, where they only picked up 3 or 4 hits, and they win the game by getting, I think it was 14 runners via the base on balls. Brandon Garcia is picked off on a low pitch in the dirt. Going to try to use some crafty, sneaky stuff to get out of this rundown. He'll stay in it for a while. Still on the move. Garcia will try to dodge the tag at second, but they did get him. So each team has now just had a runner picked off. Salisbury was just a simple pitcher to first base. This time was Brandon Garcia trying to extend out a bit on the secondary. It was a bunt shown by O'Kelly McWilliams. McWilliams took the pitch. Ball was a little low. And the catcher, Ben Anderson, fired one down to first base and caught Brandon Garcia in a no-man's land there. 2-3-6-4-5. Tim LaDuca has officially reported it was 2-3-4-6-5. Say it for me again one time, Timmy. 2-3-6-4-5. 2-3-6-4-5. Could you hear that, fans? Do we have another headset, Tim? Could you do both? Tim wants to focus. 3-0 count now on O'Kelly McWilliams, the fourth. Can't wait to tell you more about this guy. He's fun to watch, great personality as well. Got to connect with him some this fall. McWilliams there tossed the bat away, and it was a strike. You could see a slight gesture to the umpire there, just a little, my bad, didn't mean to show you up, Blue, just thought it was a ball. 3-1 count. Williams will slash at that. McWilliams, I'm sorry. Got to make sure we get that right. And it is a great name, O'Kelly McWilliams the fourth. 2-3-6-4-5, Tim LaDuca has reported that we're still getting it wrong. The combo on the putout seems to match up with the Newport News, Virginia zip code, is what Tim is saying. I love it. I love the fact that he went to that. And yeah, a lot of the zip codes around the Lynchburg area, of course, are 2, 4, 5 something. So that makes sense that the 2 would also include a Virginia location. I love it. Full count here to McWilliams. That ball's in the dirt. It's actually the second straight walk for the starter from Salisbury, Tyler Villa. We're trying to get everything all. We're still trying to get situated. It was pretty cool to throw it together on a moment's notice, as we will get a mound visit to talk about some more fun things. Ben Jones is due up. Benny Bombs, Benton Jones, another player that we caught up with preseason, and you can find that interview anywhere you consume Lynchburg sports media. I kind of default to Twitter/X myself and also Instagram. But a lot of people like the Facebook stuff. And pretty much everything LHSN does will end up on YouTube. Maybe not everything, but many things. Those interviews are on YouTube. I can confirm that. All right, mound visit is over. Ben Jones, the left-handed swinging power hitter from Durham, North Carolina, is in the box. Speed from O'Kelly McWilliams the fourth. That's one thing we do need to tell you about him right away. He can run. Lucas Jones and I were chatting preseason, said don't expect many pitcher-catchers combos to be able to catch up with McWilliams, because not only does he have raw speed, and he'll take off right here. Okay, it might have been a true hit and run as Ben Jones went hacking at the first pitch. Not only can McWilliams the fourth run, but he is a great base runner as well. And there is a difference between raw speed and then knowing how to use that on the bases. Throw over from Villa there. Really before he got on the rubber, maybe a good way to just keep an eye on a speedster like McWilliams. Although after a foul ball, I wonder if that ball's technically back in play yet. Guess if Villa's gotten back on the rubber than it is. 1-1 count now on the sophomore second baseman, Ben Jones. Hold from Villa, longer hold here. No run this time from McWilliams. Good hard hack from Ben Jones. Just barely got a tip, went straight back into the catcher Anderson's glove. 1-2's the count, one out in the bottom of the first inning. Still 0-0 between Salisbury and Lynchburg. Lynchburg is the number 6th ranked team in Division III baseball right now. Salisbury, number 2. Lynchburg is 2-1 on the season. And the Seagulls, as that fastball misses outside, bringing the count to 2-2. Just trying to get the info for you. The Seagulls are an undefeated 3-0 to start the year. They beat Cortland 3 times. They beat Cortland thrice, Tim, which is a word that we've got to use more this season on the broadcast. Salisbury beat Cortland thrice last weekend. 8-3, 5-4, 10-7. So some close games in there. Salisbury in this trip here down to Greensboro, taking on Lynchburg right now. Denison tomorrow, Marietta on Sunday. Ball 4, 3 straight walks for Tyler Villa. No activity in the Salisbury bullpen just yet, but 3 free passes in a row will not make any coach smile. And yeah, here we go. We are getting some folks hustling down to the bullpen for Salisbury. It's just out of your screen to your right. Salisbury is in the first base dugout to your right. Lynchburg, the third base dugout, which you can see there. All the guys for Lynchburg on the top step. Runners on first and second, 1 out. This is Eric Hyatt. Breaking ball comes in low. More control problems for Villa. And it's not as though Villa has issued these free passes on 4 straight pitches or anything. He's been around the zone. He's been competitive. Lynchburg's foul balls off. In fact, all 3 and now make it 4 of Lynchburg's batters have had foul balls in their plate appearances. But they are just that, plate appearances. They're not even at bats yet for Lynchburg, as it's 3 straight walks. Brandon Garcia got picked off. That's the only out of the inning so far. Villa set at the waist, another breaking ball down low. Hyatt doing a nice job to recognize that, take that, and then swing at the fastball. See if another heater is coming from Villa. Double play depth up the middle for Salisbury. First baseman is well behind the runner, Ben Jones, at first. Fastball high. Here we go. They're trying to pick on Ben Jones. Hit him in either the shoulder or head area. Ben Jones is down at first. Getting some movement now. Time is out. McWilliams was able to advance to third. Ben Jones is now on his feet. Head coach Travis Beasley going out to have a chat with Ben Jones, make sure he's okay. And yes, we did say head coach Travis Beasley. Ooh, Coach Bees and Ben Jones are walking to the dugout. I don't know that this means that we've got a sub coming in yet. Maybe just Ben Jones coming to have a chat with the athletic trainer. Not quite sure where that got Ben Jones. First glance was, as I said, around the shoulder, head, or neck area. Of course, you've got the helmet on, but that doesn't keep everything covered. Ben Jones is getting a squirt of water. I think he's probably staying in the game based on that. I think Coach Beasley just wanted to give him a little time to shake it off. Maybe, if anything, you freeze the pitcher Villa out a little bit up there as well, who's got a 3-1 count on Eric Hyatt. Do you think we have a member of the athletic training staff from Salisbury coming over? Or perhaps just somebody from the ballpark here. So we have a moment to tell you it's a 0-0 ball game with runners now on first and third. 1 out in the bottom of the first. And we can also tell you what a busy weekend it is for Lynchburg sports. Mentioned that women's basketball game. Sounds like the Lynchburg Hornets women's team may have lost to Shenandoah in the ODAC tournament. Tough luck there. Great season for Allison Nichols and her squad. We had beach volleyball in action today. We were down in Georgia, I believe. We've got not Georgia, North Carolina as well. Wow, okay. They were close. We should have done both. Anyway, warm-up tosses here for Villa as the athletic trainer is looking at Ben Jones. Just giving him the once-over here. Of course, with the new emphasis on any kind of a head injury, concussion symptoms, those kinds of things, this is one where the athletic training staff, and especially coaches now as well, much more aware. They're going to check this over and give give Ben Jones a thorough examination, as thorough as you can get on a baseball field, not in a doctor's office. But they've got the different symptoms and things that they will look for. Whereas in the past, you just get up and look at the first base coach and say, no, I'm good. Now, everybody much more aware, much more cautious, and I would argue that's a good thing. We were in the midst of trying to run down the Lynchburg schedule. How about tomorrow? We've got our first home lacrosse games of the season tomorrow on campus, men's and women's lacrosse. More baseball, obviously. Lynchburg baseball will be in action for 2 tomorrow. Maybe that is of a higher importance to anybody watching this broadcast. So I mentioned the schedule was adjusted because of the weather. Let's talk about those adjustments. Ben Jones is getting a rousing applause from his teammates as he hustles back out to first. The adjustment is now this. Tomorrow, Lynchburg will play at 1:15 against Marietta. That game is right here at First National Bank Field in Greensboro, North Carolina. And then a second game at 4:45 against Cortland. Again, right here. Marietta and Cortland also ranked 8th and 10th, respectively, for Marietta and Cortland. Talk about a meat grinder of a schedule for Lynchburg. When this weekend is done, Lynchburg will be 6 games into the season, and 5 of them are against ranked teams. Ben Jones takes off. It was ball 4, or do we have a balk? Oh, Ben Jones was just kind of wandering off. That's why I was wondering if now he's out. They flipped it and got Ben Jones out at second. That was a weird exchange there. It was ball 4. McWilliams came in to score. There is a run on the board. Lynchburg leads 1-0. McWilliams came in to score on a true double steal. Eric Hyatt walked. Ben Jones slid into second. There was no call at second because it was ball 4, but Ben Jones started wandering off a little bit, and Salisbury wisely just tossed it right back to second and got him out. Now Coach Travis Beasley is going to go out and have a chat with that field umpire. The home plate umpire is going to ask Bees to stay right there at the third base line, but I think he's just going to ask the question. Maybe it's just, hey, what'd you see kind of thing, or maybe it is something with the walk. But as it stands right now, we've got 2 outs, a runner on first, and it'll be Bryce Demery batting for Lynchburg. McWilliams did would get credit for a steal of home there, absolutely. It's a stolen base for McWilliams. On the double steal there as Ben Jones took off. Ball 4 to Eric Hyatt. I was not ready for an exchange like that early in the season, Tim. That one caught me off guard. Lynchburg does have a run, though. I think the Lynchburg coaching staff's going to be a little disappointed at Ben Jones for wandering off and getting out like that, but I guess you're happy to have the run. 4 walks in a row for Villa. You got to think he's probably the number 1. He's probably the ace if he's getting the ball in this Friday game. But that doesn't mean the leash is unlimited for Tyler Villa. We mentioned there was activity in the Seagull bullpen. Looks like the throwing has stopped, so perhaps either the potential relief pitcher is ready and loose, or perhaps that means this is Villa's ball to get out of the first inning at least. Bryce Demery took a good swing at one there. Fouled it back. It's a 1-1 count. Eric Hyatt leads off at first. They'll throw on Hyatt. McWilliams gets the first run. Lynchburg does lead 1-0. Long wait in the dugout for Wes Arrington, who looked pretty good in inning number 1 for Lynchburg. Did give up the leadoff single to Alex Craig, but he was erased on a pickoff. Lynchburg has lost 2 base runners on the base paths. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses from Villa. 3-1 count. Catcher's going to have a chat with him. Change might be going on now. No. The Salisbury coach just came out of the dugout slightly to tell the relief arm to get cranked up again. 3-1 here for Bryce Demery. Bryce Demery's got a great story. He featured heavily last weekend in Lynchburg's 2 wins. Bryce Demery wears number 17. He is from Bristow, Virginia, and only played in 2 games last season, but was a big part of that team last year. And his patience and hard work has paid off as he is really in the middle of the lineup this season for Lynchburg. Average right now isn't great at 154, but the 2 hits he did get were big, and he drove in the winning run in Lynchburg's win against Milliken last weekend. Full count now. Eric Hyatt will be on the move. First baseman's played behind him with 2 outs. Villa holds. Longer hold, now picks up and fires. Demery laces one up the middle. Hyatt's going to get to go first to third here. Didn't have to slow down with 2 outs. Bryce Demery will take an aggressive turn, and he hustles back. Base hit there. First one of the game for Lynchburg. And the threat is still on for the Hornets with 2 outs and runners on first and third. And Gavin Collins back in the batter's box where he belongs after, as I said, a little bit of a late start. Gavin Collins dealing with some injury issues. Said he was feeling good, though, when we talked to him last week. Down there in the cages, getting some hacks in before practice. This may be the end of the road here for Tyler Villa. I think we are going to get a change. And we'll pause and give things a chance to breathe here, including ourselves. Lynchburg leads 1-0. Bottom of the first still between Salisbury and Lynchburg. We're coming back in just a second. The new pitcher for the Salisbury Seagulls will be number 20, Theron Morose. I think we're getting that right. The last name is Mrohs. He is a junior right-hander from Crisfield, Maryland. Theron Morose, 6'4". And Theron is, let's find some stats. There are no stats available for Theron on the website. So this could be appearance number 1, at least for this season anyway, for the tall junior. In the batter's box is Gavin Collins, a senior finally for Lynchburg. Say finally, it feels like he's been around for a decade. He has been a fixture in the starting lineup since his freshman year, a former Old Dominion Athletic Conference Rookie of the Year award winner. Gavin Collins is a proven commodity, not just in the ODAC anymore, but in the entire nation. Morose missed the zone with the first offering, and now it's a 1-1 count. I got to get back in that radio mode because we don't have the score bug up there to tell you the count and the score and those things, but it is a 1-0 Lynchburg lead. Runners on first and third, bottom of the first. Here's the 1-1 to Collins. Ball in the dirt. Good eyeball there. Lynchburg plate discipline was a big story of the national championship season, and even the years before that as well. They led the nation in walks in 2022? 2021, Tim says. Man, having Tim LaDuca, beside you in a broadcast, is a lifesaver. It's like a human internet here. 3-1 count. 3-1 count on Gavin Collins. I mean, we're having fun already. See if Gavin Collins goes all in here. Nope, fastball above the zone. Every base runner has reached for Lynchburg. They've lost 2 on the bases. Brandon Garcia got picked off by the catcher, and then the zip code rundown, which I won't try to recreate. I'm going to write it down so I know. 23645. Brandon Garcia was erased on the old-fashioned 23645 Newport News zip code rundown. Ben Jones got erased. Here's a tapper back to the pitcher. Inning's going to come to an end here. That was Quinn Madden, who went hacking at the first pitch. Soft contact back to Morose, and he tosses to first for the out. Madden actually the first base runner to be retired the old-fashioned way there. A successful inning for Lynchburg. It probably could have been more, though. They leave the bases stranded. They get 1 hit and 1 run, and we're heading to the top of the second here. Hornets and Seagulls coming at you from the D3 showcase in Greensboro. Second inning about to get cranked up here. Designated hitter number 13, Dylan Weinbrenner, is in the batter's box for Salisbury. He took a slash at the first pitch from Wesley Arrington, but comes up empty, and it is strike 1. Arrington gave up a leadoff single. That runner got picked off and then retired the next 2 batters on ground balls to second base. That's how Salisbury went in inning number 1. I imagine Wesley Arrington went down to the bullpen and just had a few tosses to wake it up. How about 3 up, 3 down in the at-bat there for Wes Arrington? That's his first punch out of the game. Got Weinbrenner swinging at the high stuff. And out number 1 is in the books. We're gonna get you the outs and the runs on the score bug there up top in the top left portion of your screen. Another lefty up for Salisbury, and this ball is in the gap. Big gaps here in Greensboro, North Carolina. It is a minor league park, and it's going to end up being a stand-up double for Tim Petroselli. Tim Petroselli, the right fielder for Salisbury, gets the first extra base hit of the game. Pumping that one in the left center gap, opposite way. Runner in scoring position for the first time for the Salisbury Seagulls. It'll be catcher Ben Anderson in the batter's box here with 1 away in the top of the second inning. Lynchburg leads 1-0. Off-speed pitch from Arrington, just missed the bottom of the zone. And the count is 1-0. Left side of the infield is regular depth. Ben Jones is slightly shaded towards second base to keep tabs on the runner there. Swing and a miss from the catcher Anderson. Lynchburg is coached by the first-year head coach, Travis Beasley. He was the associate head coach. Off-season change has been well documented. You can find more info about that, of course, on the Lynchburg website. Former head coach Lucas Jones, and the coach of the year last year, for the national champion Hornets, is back on the staff. He's actually coaching third base. You can see him there in your screen. But Coach Jones has been open and honest about some mental health struggles that he went through. Thinks this change in role will be great for him. Thinks it'll be great for the team. So far, so good. You know, talking to the players, they said it's pretty much business as usual. No major changes on their end. And Beasley, again, Travis Beasley was the associate head coach. So his role was very active in the team. It's not like he's a newcomer at all. The other assistant coaches are still intact. Gabe Garcia, Oscar Garcia, Michael Solbach. And there is one addition with Cam Lane joining the team as a graduate assistant coach coming off that team last year. Full count here. Arrington got the corner with that one inside. Ben Anderson kind of gave a trot down to first, but I think you could tell from the body language there that he knew that was probably on the plate, and that is out number 2. They both come with the punch-outs for Wesley Arrington, who I sometimes accidentally call Wes Anderson, who is a famous director. And I even brought that up to Wes's family, and they said, no big deal. That's just how laid back they are. Wesley Arrington's mom has a great Lynchburg connection and a connection to Coach Lucas Jones specifically. Swing and a miss there for Adam Tomer, the left fielder for Salisbury. Another left-handed swinger. I think it's been half the hitters so far. More than half. Tomer's batting 7th, and I think it's been 4 lefties in the starting lineup for Salisbury so far. We'll get the other ones. We'll get batters 8 and 9 here in a second. It's another one that if we had more time to prep, we would already be able to tell you what they hit, but we're just flying by the seat of our pants here on this first LHSN broadcast. It's a special broadcast on the road here. Salisbury, or Greensboro, North Carolina, but Lynchburg taking on Salisbury. Fastball upstairs, 2-1 count. Runner on second. That was Petroselli who hit the double. Arrington, long look in at the catcher, Sean Pokerock. Pokerock, one knee down stance, which is so common now with catchers at all levels. Saw that quite a bit from not only Pokey last year, but Holden Fiedler, of course, who did a lot of the catching, specifically in the postseason. Fiedler was a mainstay back there. Riley O'Donovan, we will see him some this season, no doubt. Airborne left side, Gavin Collins, does he have room? He's tracking it, but it landed 3 rows up here in the bleachers at First National Bank Field. And we'll try it again with a full count on the left-handed hitting Adam Tomer. Due up for Lynchburg will be Arrington's battery mate, Sean Pokerock, and Josh Jorman. Lineup will turn back over to Brandon Garcia, the shortstop. Having Pokey and Josh Jorman hitting 8th and 9th, that's power-packed right there for Lynchburg. Arrington missed inside on a fastball. That'll be the first free pass he has issued tonight. Runners on first and second now for Salisbury. There are 2 outs. I forgot. I've got to get the outs here. I got to do this. I can do this. I can multitask. And I will multitask. Max Earhart, the shortstop, steps in with 2 down. Runners on first and second. Petroselli hit the double. Looked like he had good wheels coming around first. He actually thought about turning it into a triple. So I would say that Petroselli is going to be a real threat to score on any base hit here. 1-0 count as Arrington misses again. Fastball looks like it's got good life, good velo from Wes. I think he took something off that and went upstairs for ball 2. Just 1 game for Lynchburg today. 2 tomorrow against 2 ranked opponents again, Marietta and Cortland. Marietta was one of the best teams in Division III baseball in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, they were the team to beat. And you could make that argument about some teams now. You could really make that argument about Salisbury. They've made 3 straight trips, at least 3 straight trips to the Final 8 Fastball upstairs, 3-1 count. Yeah, this year's Division III championships are in Cleveland, Ohio. It will not be Cedar Rapids this season. We had such a great time in the Hawkeye State. Strike 2. Ooh. And Max Earhart was a third of the way down to first base, and his bat was over halfway to the dugout. Lynchburg dugout is actually, I think, giving Earhart a bit of a hard time, but also telling the umpire, hey, you can call him out for that. And that's true. By the book, you can call the batter out. I think typically the umpire will just give you a nice firm warning and let you get back in the box. Strike 3 anyway. Oh, Arrington's pumped. Oh, yeah, Wes Arrington struck out 3 in the inning. Here's a guy that didn't display a ton of emotion last year, but Arrington fist pumping and jumping off the mound as Salisbury leaves 2 stranded to end the top of the second inning. 8-9-1 coming up for the Hornets when we come back on LHSN. High energy from Wesley Arrington bouncing off the mound to leave a couple Salisbury runners stranded. And Lynchburg preserves the 1-0 advantage. That was a Cedar Rapids West right there. Wesley Arrington was, here's Sean Pokerock not wasting any time. Hitting one to the left side. Throw gets away. Pokey's going to try to take off to second. Yeah, looks like he's going to get there. I think Tim LeDuc is going to score a base hit and an error. 2 errors. 1 error? Just 1 error. No hit, though. Yes, it's not a hit for Sean Pokerock. Just in hindsight, I guess I agree with that because a good throw would have beaten him. A good throw would have gotten Pokerock there. Now we're getting into the nuances of keeping score, which is so much fun in baseball. The official score has given that an error. E5? The third baseman that came across to field that. I'm telling you, it's early in the season, fans. I'm in basketball mode and lacrosse mode, but it's baseball season here in late February. Josh Jorman tried to bunt the first pitch and knocked it down foul. It's an 0-1 count on the left-handed hitting Josh Jorman. Also a pitcher, true two-way guy, Josh Jorman. I would imagine Lynchburg would be using him sometime tomorrow or even tonight. You never know. A little bit tougher when Jorman's already in the lineup, and Lynchburg really hasn't shown that they've wanted to do that much. So usually on the days where Jorman is going to pitch, he's not hitting. It's kind of been the combo that the coaches prefer. Josh Jorman tried to bunt that as well, and now it's an 0-2 count. Nobody out with Sean Pokerock at second base. Lynchburg walked 5 times in the first inning. There was 1 hit in the first inning for Lynchburg as well. Jorman will chase that down the left field line. Just barely foul. Jorman was out of the box in a hurry there. Sean Pokerock got a good read on that. He would have scored easily, but it did not stay within the boundaries of the playing field. 0-2 count on Josh Jorman. Josh Jorman has had some terrible luck with injuries. He has missed so much of Lynchburg's postseason fun from a playing perspective. And that's not just last year, but previous year as well. But Josh Jorman was definitely part of the fun team-wise and in the stands there. He was one of the big guys leading that crew of non-rostered players in Cedar Rapids that was making noise, having a good time, living it up, and really supporting their team the best way they could. I would argue it was I guess it would be a 10th man in baseball, although that's misleading too because you have 9 in the lineup and sometimes a pitcher. But it was really, I think, a boost for Lynchburg last season in that national championship. Some of those other teams did not have the non-rostered players there. If they did, they weren't really vocal or maybe into it like Lynchburg's were. 2-2 count here on Jorman. He's ready for another one from Theron Morose. He'll foul that away left side. There is, again, activity in the Salisbury bullpen. Sean Pokerock leading off at second. Second inning in a row. Lynchburg's got the leadoff man on. Brandon Garcia, who's waiting on deck, didn't last long out there after being picked off, the zip code pickoff. Ball in the dirt. Great eyeball there from Josh Jorman. And go figure, Lynchburg's got another full count offensively. They do this so much. They make pitchers have to work so hard out there. Even when Lynchburg gets out, very few easy outs. Here's the pitch to Jorman. He'll rip that into right field. That's hit well. Right fielder giving chase. Dove, and it's down. It's a base hit for Jorman. Pokerock will score. Play at second. Jorman tried to swim around the tag. He couldn't get there. It's going to end up being an 8-6 put out as the center fielder came in there, backing up the diving right fielder nicely to get Jorman. So it's really an interesting situation there because a lot like the first inning, Lynchburg's going to get a run, but it costs them an out in the process. And as a coach, you're happy about getting the run, but you want your team to be a little bit sharper, a little bit cleaner. Bases are clear again for the leadoff man, Brandon Garcia. His second plate appearance. Lynchburg leads 2-0. Let's adjust that score. Let's adjust the outs as well. There's one out. This is fun. It's like the fans watching get to live this through me as I just give the play-by-play about the score bug up there. I'll do the play-by-play on the way home for you too, Tim. We're stopping at a different convenience store, though, as Brandon Garcia dodges a head-high fastball. That's an inside joke. Shouldn't do those on the broadcast. That's a no-no in broadcasting. 3-0 count for Brandon Garcia. That's the last inside joke I'm telling this season. That's my commitment. That one wasn't close. Easier take for Brandon Garcia there, and he's got his second walk of the game. True to form, Lynchburg has 6 walks as a team now. And we are in the bottom of the second inning, fans. There's one out in the bottom of the second inning. All the information on your screen is accurate there for the moment. O'Kelly McWilliams, the fourth, walked as well. He'll show bunt. Garcia, same situation, gets back in time. Learned his lesson. The old fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me line probably applies there. As Garcia was hustling back as McWilliams takes ball one high. Double play depth for the infield. Pitcher Morose will check on Garcia the conventional way. Outfield is, I would say, medium deep, a little bit deeper than what I would call standard depth for an outfield. Big gaps here, big park, First National Bank Field. Garcia bluffs the steal. That fastball gets across just under the letters for strike one. 1-1 count with one out. Lynchburg leading 2-0. Such an early season challenge. Not just this game, but the entire schedule. 5 of 6 opponents to start the year are ranked for Lynchburg. And they're given the challenge and the test as well. Make no mistake about it. These other teams are saying the same thing. They're saying, hey, we've got a stiff test. We've got the defending national champs coming. So that goes both ways, and that's part of the appeal of an event like this D3 showcase. And the same way with the event that Lynchburg went to as Brandon Garcia Slid back into first to dodge the pickoff throw from Anderson again, and it skipped into right field. Right fielder hustling to back it up. 2-2 count on O'Kelly McWilliams IV. But, yeah, that's part of it, the appeal of some of these early season things that a team can get involved in. Yeah, you can load up the schedule with some lightweights and some teams that, maybe didn't have outstanding records last season. This ball tapped down the third base line. Going to be bang, bang here at first. That ball skips into the first baseman's glove. McWilliams, the fourth, was burning it down that first baseline. His great speed was probably going to allow him to beat that out anyway, and it will be ruled a hit. It is the second hit of the game for Lynchburg. Scratch that, third hit. Josh Jorman had the base hit and got thrown out at second base. 3 hits for Lynchburg. McWilliams the fourth there, Bryce Demery in the first inning, and also Josh Jorman earlier in this inning. Runners on first and third again for Lynchburg with 1 out. It has been a great start offensively for the Hornets just as far as getting runners aboard. They've only gotten 2 in, but that could change right here with Ben Jones in the batter's box. Check swing, strike 1, and it's an 0-1 count. Pitcher is still number 20, the junior, Theron Morose. Eric Hyatt, the designated hitter, due up next. Bryce Demery in the hole. McWilliams going. Anderson just ate that. Don't know if that was a planned hold on a first to third steal, or maybe he bobbled, couldn't get the grip. Looked like he was coming out to throw it. I'll tell you that. If it was a planned hold, he really sold me. We saw Lynchburg score a run on the first to third steal, double steal. Jones takes ball 2. That one was just above the letters. We know Anderson likes to throw. He's been involved in that pickoff that got Brandon Garcia. He's already tried to pick several other runners. Garcia leads at third. McWilliams the fourth leading off at second. 3-1 count. As Ben Jones knows the zone. He's proven that already, just a sophomore. Ben Jones' plate discipline off the charts. 3-1 count here for Betty Bombs. Good rip, fouls it back, and now the count is full. 1 out in the bottom of the second. Next LHSN baseball broadcast is Wednesday when the Pfeiffer Falcons come to Fox Field. Fastball, inner black. Got Ben Jones looking. First strikeout Lynchburg has taken offensively. And there are 2 down. With 2 runners on in the bottom of the second, springs up Eric Hyatt, the designated hitter. 1 click and the information on your screen is accurate again. Hyatt also walked. He was part of 4 straight walks in the bottom of the first for Lynchburg. Now a chance to do some damage with a 1-0 count. 2 in scoring position. 2 speedy runners as well. Pass ball very much in play here too with the big backstop in the minor league park. 2 balls, no strikes to Eric Hyatt. Designated hitter. Did that quite a bit last year. Also played first base quite a bit. Lucas Jones called him a hockey goalie over there at first base. Takes a fastball right down Broadway for strike 1. And the count goes to 2-1. Morose in the stretch, looking in, holds it to chest, now fires. Tapped to short, not hit hard. Third baseman will come across and eat it. Third baseman will come across and just hold. That was Trent Ware that had the error earlier in this inning. I don't think that was a factor in that play. He appeared to be very concerned about O'Kelly McWilliams rounding third base and just held it. Eric Hyatt, not the fastest runner on Lynchburg's team. And in fact, no offense to the Eric Hyatt fans, but he might be the slowest runner in this starting 9. We saw Eric Hyatt's dad before the game. He won't mind. He might agree with us. It's a runner in, though, for Lynchburg. They lead 3-0. Hyatt at first, McWilliams the fourth at third. And now, again, Eric Hyatt's not slow, and he was hustling down the line. It was going to be close at first. But where? Maybe he couldn't get the grip out of the glove. Ground ball left side for Bryce Demery. He's getting it down the line, but the throw from short will get Bryce in time. And the inning is over. Another successful one for Lynchburg. They score 2 runs. Slightly strange fashion, but the Hornets' lead is up to 3-0 through 2 complete at First National Bank Field in Greensboro. Officially for Lynchburg in the bottom of the second inning, it was 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 Salisbury error, and Lynchburg left 2 on. The Hornet lead is 3-0. Got to adjust that. Tim. Also, we got to change our outs. Totally unprofessional here, fans, but that's all right. You all will forgive me, I'm sure. Wesley Arrington is back on the mound to start the third inning. He'll be facing 8-9-1 for Salisbury. Wesley Arrington last season, 7-2 in 13 starts and 17 appearances. Got out of a bases-loaded jam in the 8th inning in that decisive Game 3 against Salisbury. There was a play at the plate, if you remember. Carson Atkins from center field uncorked a dime to home plate. Holden Fiedler applied the tag, and then he struck out, retired the side in the 9th inning, but it was a strikeout to seal the victory. And Wesley Arrington is definitely a strikeout pitcher. Got 2 punch-outs already in this one against a very good Salisbury lineup. As we get a slight delay, I believe Sean Pokerock, his communications device that Lynchburg uses to call the pitches, it's just an earpiece. It's just really a pretty simple concept with an FM radio transmitter set to a frequency. And Pokerock hears the coach call the pitch, but I believe that got tangled up, and I think we're good to go now. See a lot of teams using that. Just radio the pitches in. Why didn't we think about that in the 20s and the 30s? We had radio technology, but anyway, things have advanced. We're here in 2024. Wesley Arrington's got a 2-0 count on the shortstop, Max Earhart. Earhart made a good strong throw across the diamond to retire Bryce Demery in the bottom of the second just moments ago. There's a fastball, inner half, and it's a 2-1 count. Wesley Arrington, you're back to the strikeouts, though. 2 in this game. 83 hitters last season. Struck out double-digit batters against Pfeiffer and Ferrum. Really pitches in the upper 80s with the fastball. The breaking ball is tough. He's got great movement on that fastball. There was some videos from the Johns Hopkins games where people were marveling at Arrington's movement, how much run he was getting on the 2-seamer and the sink. Fastball upstairs, and now the count is full to Earhart. Wesley Arrington is a grad student from Keswick, Virginia, just outside Charlottesville. 3-hopper to Brandon Garcia. Hollywood will throw a strike to first base, and that is out number 1 of the top of the 3rd inning. Third baseman Trent Ware due up for Salisbury. Pitching stats coming into this game this season for Wesley Arrington aren't bad. He pitched 4 2/3 innings against East Texas Baptist last week, February 16th, as we get an early count swing from Trent Ware. That's a ground ball to Ben Jones. No problems there, and it's pretty quick out to get to 2 in the inning in the top of the lineup for Salisbury. Alex Craig led off the game with a base hit. Got picked off by Wesley Arrington. Arrington, 4 2/3 against East Texas Baptist a week ago, February 16th. Gave up 5 hits, 1 run, was not earned, struck out 6, and walked 1. So a pretty good stat line there. Not anything that's necessarily going to blow you away, but I think the kind of thing you love to see for a pitcher early in the season. You're not necessarily expecting the A-plus stuff in game number 1, and you're probably not expecting that against a great team like ETBU. Wesley Arrington in his career now is 11-6. He's made 30 starts, 40 appearances. And he is thought of as the ace of the staff now with the departure of guys like Zach Potts and Brandon Pond, still continuing their baseball careers. If you don't know that, Lynchburg fans, Potts and Pond, and also Avery Neves now competing at the Division I level, as Arrington has missed the zone 3 times in a row, and it's a 3-0 count for the leadoff man for Salisbury. That was something that both Coach Travis Beasley and Coach Lucas Jones talked about last year. They wanted those guys to try to test themselves at the D1 level. A lot of coaches would selfishly want you to stick around and come back for another year. Hey, let's run it back. Let's do it again. And I think Beasley and Jones had to have that notion in the back of their minds as Arrington will offer up his second walk of the game. Yeah, you're only human if you think about that a little bit and you say, wow, we could have Potts and Pond and Neves back for another season? Really? But it just tells you the unselfish nature of this Lynchburg coaching staff. He said, hey, why don't you think about playing somewhere else? Why don't you think about Division I baseball? Those guys had that thought as well. And there was a lot of Division III players that transferred to D1 schools in the offseason. I wouldn't call it a mass exodus. That's not accurate, but there were quite a few, specifically from the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. All sorts of talent moving schools, and it gives you some indication of just how competitive, just how good the ODAC is. We knew that anyway. But if you need more evidence, you have it. 1-0 count on the 2-hole man, the second baseman Kyle Brex for Salisbury. Grounded out to second base in his first at bat. Alex Craig leads off at first. Modified check swing. Bat got off the shoulder for Brex, but it was ball 2. Arrington falling behind a few more hitters in this inning. We'll see if he can make an adjustment. We know Arrington's capable of that. Good stop by Sean Pokerock. Keep that one in front and keep Craig at first. Pokerock's defense last year was solid. I think this season you're going to see that it's just even better. There is 2 outs, and Lynchburg does lead 3-0. We're in the top of the 3rd. Arrington's got to get across here. He will hit the zone with that fastball. Lynchburg's had some stirring in their bullpen, but nobody getting hot just yet, I don't think. Arrington set at the waist, delivers. Another fastball that will catch the edge. Brex wasn't sure about that, but he'll step back in with a full count now. Craig, the center fielder, will be on the move here at first base with full count and a 2 out. Both teams high volume out of their dugouts. They're into it. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, right side. Josh Jorman there. It was a hot shot, but no problem for Josh Jorman. And the inning is over. No Salisbury hits. They leave 1 runner stranded, and they are still blanked through 2.5 here at First National Bank Field. It'll be Gavin Collins due up next for the Lynchburg Hornets. 6, 7, 8 due up for the Lynchburg offense here in the bottom of the third. Lynchburg leads 3-0. Here we go. I got the information correct again as Gavin Collins swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Gavin Collins, his freshman campaign, his rookie of the year season, hit .302 with 45 hits. There was 11 doubles, 4 triples, and a homer in there. Last year, Gavin Collins hit .244 as the everyday third baseman for Lynchburg. 52 hits. And Tim LaDuca and myself and some other people that follow Lynchburg baseball, we've had this talk. I mean, Gavin Collins, the average is more than 50 points lower from his freshman season to the junior year, but he has more hits his junior year. And if you know about baseball, that means he's probably not taking as many walks. There's more at-bats, clearly, as well. But it's just a fascinating thing about our game that you can have more base hits, and then the average can be 50 points lower. But it is a funny game, for sure. Gavin Collins, don't let that .244 average fool you. He's a class hitter. He is very good. 2-2 count right here to number 15. Fouls that one back. Gavin Collins can be a real banger as well. 11 homers in his career, 9 triples, 27 doubles. He's driven in 119 in his career, and he's gotten hit by pitch 40 times. Look out, Cam Lane. Gavin Collins got that one off the tape. It might drop in. It will drop in. They get him at first. No, the ball is bouncing free. Gavin Collins with a good read to scamper to second base. He's in there without a play. There you go, Gavin Collins, another part of his game. He runs pretty well. Gavin Collins has 22 career stolen bases. And he's on second base in scoring position. Third inning in a row that Lynchburg's gotten a runner in scoring position. And they've all come pretty early in the inning as well. Lynchburg leads 3-0. This is Quinn Madden. Quinn Madden is the only hitter in this Lynchburg lineup that had a quick at bat. I think he swung at the first pitch his first time up and ended the first inning. See if Madden's more patient this at bat, or maybe he's just ready for anything in his wheelhouse. He was. Looked like he was on that high heater, but just missed. Quinn Madden, 5'11" junior from Burke, Virginia. He played baseball at Hartford Community College for 3 seasons. He's a .349 hitter there. He's got a great connection with Ethan Maratsky on the Lynchburg baseball team. They basically grew up together, and that's one of the reasons why Quinn Madden is now here at Lynchburg. He's a very good player, though. Wouldn't be in this starting lineup if he wasn't. 0-2 count with a runner on second. Collins bounces off. Madden fouls another one back. Quinn Madden has done some play-by-play broadcasting as well. We found that out when we were hanging out at the Lynchburg baseball practice. So you never know. You could be hearing Quinn Madden on LHSN sometime in the future. Watching him right now in the batter's box. Here's the pitch from Morose. Bouncing ball up the middle. It's through. Collins will take the turn around third. Slight misplay in center field. Don't think they were going to get Gavin Collins anyway. Madden's got a base hit. And Lynchburg's got their 4th run of the game. I wouldn't say Lynchburg has broken this one open yet. But, boy, it feels like they've had the Seagulls on the ropes the entire time. No knockout punch or anything. But at this rate, it could happen. This is a guy that could do it as well. Sean Pokerock steps in, reached on an error, his first plate appearance. Sean Pokerock, a sophomore. So much of the spotlight last season on the freshman Brandon Garcia and Ben Jones, but you can't forget about the outstanding stuff that Pokey did. Pokey's going to have a short plate appearance again, hit by pitch. Looked like that one got him right in the wallet. Now Lynchburg's got runners on first and second again. Might have another change coming up as the Salisbury coach will stride to the mound. Lynchburg leading 4-0. Josh Jorman ready to work here for Lynchburg with nobody out in the bottom of the third inning. Gavin Collins just scored the run there. His was a base hit. Yes, thank you. Tim LaDuca confirmed. Little blooper in the triangle there between pitcher. Tim just confirmed it. Base hit and then an error to get Collins to second. That little triangle between the pitcher, second baseman, and first base is really a tough one. You always work on those I got it, you take it plays between the pitcher and the first baseman, but that was a weird little area there. That was just a mound visit. Theron Morose is staying in for Salisbury. Lynchburg leading 4-0. Sack bunt was on for Josh Jorman in his first at bat. He didn't get it down successfully. He then turned around and pumped the ball into right field for a base hit. Let's see if it's a sacrifice bunt situation here. Salisbury's ready for it. Corners are in. Didn't get the full square around, but it looked like Jorman was in the action position there to bunt a ball. Corners are creeping close for Salisbury. It was ball one. Nobody away here in the bottom of the third inning. Ooh, that one handcuffed Jorman. That was dangerous on a couple levels because it nearly hit him on the knuckles, and then it also could be very easily popped up and turned into an out there. Jorman almost showing it late, not really with the bat fully out front. See if he changes that or stays with it. It might be swinging away, yeah. Bat was much more out front that time. I think that was a true sack bunt try. It will also bounce foul. 1-2 count for Josh Jorman. They've got the old school organ playing here at First National Bank Field. Always makes you feel like you're at a ball game when you hear the organ. Josh Jorman is now a grad student. Talk about another guy that's been around for a while and had a great career. Sprays this one to left. Left fielder is under it. That was Tomer that made the grab, and that's the first out of the inning. First fly ball of the game. Isn't that wild? F7 if you're scoring at home. And if you're scoring at home, hats off. Send us an email or drop us a line on any of the social media spots if you're scoring at home, because that's impressive. Brady Moore would do something like that. B. Moore might send us a screenshot of his scorebook. Brady, I've created my own scorebook where I just went in Excel and I made a bunch of grids, and it gives me more room. Try that out if you've ever got, an hour or two free. 1-0 count on Brandon Garcia. Garcia has walked twice, 0 for 0 statistically right now as Lynchburg leads 4-0. Runners take off. Double steal again. I think he's in there. Yes, sir. Sliding safely head first under the tag was Quinn Madden at third. Sean Pokerock advancing to second as well. Now Lynchburg's got runners on second and third. 2-0 count for Brandon Garcia. Major action situation here. And to add to the drama a little bit, Salisbury's bringing the infield in. Here we go. This is what it's all about. And we're only in the bottom of the third inning. This is incredible. This is great. 2-1 count. Garcia takes strike one. I'm loving this. That's why Major League guys play 162. You just can't get enough of this. Good swing there from Garcia, but fouls it into the back. The catcher's mitt there, Ben Anderson. 2-2 is the count now. One out. Morose came in relief of Tyler Villa. He's stabilized a bit, but he's also been on the ropes. There's been runners all over the base paths for Lynchburg in every inning. Lynchburg left 3 on in the first. And don't forget that Garcia got picked off. Ben Jones wandered off. So between that and the one run in the first inning, Lynchburg had a bunch of traffic out there. Second inning was similar. The umpire has stepped out and he's noting something in his scorebook there. That's usually a warning of some kind when they do that. Didn't quite see what it would have been, though. The count is full on Brandon Garcia. We'll try to stick to what we know. There are runners on second and third. Quinn Madden, good speed at third. Sean Pokerock, decent wheels at second, especially for a catcher. Infield is in for the Seagulls. Garcia just flares one back. Nice job to stay alive. Call that a spoil right there. Spoiled a good pitch from Rose. Lynchburg as a team has taken 6 walks. Garcia has taken 2 of them. 1 hit by pitch for the Hornets as well. That was Sean Pokerock, and that's how he got on base in this inning. Bottom of the 3rd. Fastball missed to Brandon Garcia. Hollywood's got 3 walks. 3 of the 7 for the Hornets. So patient. So good. I mean, a guy with the nickname like Hollywood, he wants action. He wants to get base hits. He wants to slap it around and get those speed doubles and triples. He wants to pressure the defense. But he also knows the zone. Knows what pitches to swing at, what pitches to take. Take there from O'Kelly McWilliams will be strike 1. McWilliams, the 4th, has walked once. He's got a base hit as well, showcasing his great speed in this game already. Bases loaded, infield still in. Scratch that. Middle's at double play depth. Corners are in for Salisbury. McWilliams fouls that one back, and now it's 2 strikes. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. McWilliams slashes that into left field. It's down. 1 run is in. Pokerock coming around 3rd. Another bobble there in the outfield. They're going to try to get McWilliams back at first. He will slide in safely. No throw. 2 RBI single there for O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th. And Lynchburg is now rolling on top 6-0. The Hornets really have busted it open. Game's not over yet, but what a start here for Lynchburg in a top 10 matchup against the 2nd-ranked team in the country. I said Salisbury has been on the ropes the entire game. Hornets might be looking for the knockout blow. It'll be coming against a new pitcher as Salisbury will make a change. We'll be back in just a moment on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. What a start here for the Lynchburg Hornets as they lead 6-0. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Salisbury is on to their 3rd pitcher. We'll identify this new arm here in just a moment. Kyle Haney coming to you with a LHSN special. LHSN on the road. We did this a little bit last year in baseball season, if you remember. And maybe we've done it in field hockey? Lacrosse? No? Not yet. Not yet, anyway. Ball 1 to Ben Jones. Double steal coming again for Lynchburg. Safe at third again. How about the Hornets running the bases here? Brandon Garcia will get time. I know Lynchburg's had a couple quote-unquote base-running miscues, Garcia and Jones. But, man, I love the way Lynchburg is being aggressive out there on the bases. And I think it's against a really good catcher, Ben Anderson. Infield's coming in again for Salisbury. Down 6-0, 1 out in the bottom of the third. Pitch to Ben Jones, misses, 2-0 count. The pitcher is Mitchell Whitcamp. Number 18, Mitchell Whitcamp, is a 6'3", 170-pound junior from Bel Air, Maryland. We'll see what Mr. Whitcamp has been up to. 3-0 count. Ben Jones went for that. Skyward. Let's see if the catcher Anderson has a play. He has room, tracked it, hauled it in. That's out number 2. Ben Jones was swinging 3-0. Can't fault him for that. He's a run producer. He is a power-hitting machine. Why wouldn't you turn him loose in a 6-0 game, 3-0 count? I know some of the old-school fans will say that should be a straight take right there. I disagree, especially with Ben Jones. But he does pop out to the catcher, and it brings up Eric Hyatt. Hyatt is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Check swing. Yeah, strike. Strike 1. Mitchell Whitcamp has not pitched yet in 2024. He had a 4.70 earned run average last season in 9 appearances. Looks like he did make 3 starts. Mostly out of the bullpen for Whitcamp. He's ahead quickly on Eric Hyatt. Looks comfortable out there, looks confident. After falling behind Ben Jones 3-0, it's been 3 straight strikes. Runners on second and third for Lynchburg, both with good speed. Let's see if Hyatt can stay alive here with 2 down in the bottom of the third. Another check swing. Anderson blocked that up, kept it in the dirt circle nicely. Brandon Garcia, another element to his game as he advances very well on those dirt balls. Anything in the dirt, Brandon Garcia is a threat to take an extra base, including home. 1-2 delivery coming up to Eric Hyatt. Hyatt got a piece of that, bounced off the leg. That's a foul ball. Oh, man, this is great. Under the lights, LHSN After Dark, on the road, special delivery. We could think of some more catchy things. It's during dark. Hyatt belts that one, but the left fielder will have room to make the grab, and the inning will come to an end. Another successful one for Lynchburg. They put 3 across, and they lead Salisbury 6-0 after 3 complete. Top of the fourth inning, Lynchburg leads 6-0. Wesley Arrington still on the mound for the Hornets. And he will face 3-4-5 for Salisbury. I wouldn't say Wes struggled in the last inning. He did walk one. He's walked two in the game, struck out two, and given up 2 base hits so far. Arrington just missed the zone there to run the count to 1-1 on Danny Sheeler, the first baseman. No. This is Dylan Weinbrenner. Sorry, fans. Still early in the season, and Weinbrenner got hit. Weinbrenner hit by a pitch, so he'll head to first. So it's actually Weinbrenner's a cleanup hitter. This will be 5-hole man Tim Petroselli, the left-handed hitting right fielder. Hit a double in the left center gap in his first at bat. So obviously some confidence here in Wesley Arrington to get through a tough part of the order again is what you're asking him to do if you're the Lynchburg coaching staff. He's spotted with a 6-run lead. That's obviously a factor in your decision as well. You know you've got capable arms in the bullpen. You know you've got 2 really tough games tomorrow. So it's one of those things that I think Lynchburg is so great at managing the bullpen and how you use those arms, how you make sure you have enough pitching to get through 3 games in 2 days. Ground ball, right side. Jorman's there. Feeds to second for the first one. Garcia eats it. Knew he wasn't going to get the speedy Petroselli hustling down the line. And it'll be a fielder's choice for the first out of the inning. So I'm gonna adjust. We've got 1 out. We're in the top of the fourth. Score is Lynchburg 6, Salisbury 0. Ben Anderson, the catcher, in there. He was one of the Wesley Arrington strikeout victims. But yeah, can't wait to talk a little bit more about that Lynchburg bullpen. And that's one that even in the big leagues in spring training, those managers worry about how are we going to get through the games? What if we have a pitcher that can't get through an inning? What if we have 2 or 3 pitchers that can't get through an inning and we don't want to burn these guys early in the season? How about that from Anderson? That's the hardest hit ball of the game so far. McWilliams got to it quick. Relay as Garcia fires to Gavin Collins. But Petroselli slides in safely at third. Good execution defensively by Lynchburg. They almost got to speedy Petroselli. It tells you a little bit about how hard that ball was hit by Anderson. That was ripped. Highest exit velocity of the game. I can say that safely. That's the 3rd base hit that Arrington has surrendered. Left-handed hitting Adam Tomer is up. He walked in his first plate appearance. Salisbury with a runner on third for the first time tonight. Top of the 4th inning here between the Seagulls and the Hornets. Looked like something off speed from Arrington. That missed, ball 1. Ground ball, right side, could be 2. Hornets have to hustle. Garcia, great job to dig it out just to get the first one. And then he actually got some mustard on it to make that close at first base. But Tomer beat it out, and there's the first run of the game for Salisbury. We do have 2 outs now. We have 1 out, 2 outs. 2 outs. Gosh, this is mistake-riddled broadcasting, but it's early in the year. Be patient with us, fans. 2 outs, 1 on. 1 run has come across. Lynchburg leading 6-1. Arrington with a fastball upstairs for ball 1. I would say that's actually one of Wes's bigger misses of the game. Even though he's had a hit batter and 2 walks, Arrington's really been around the zone. Even the misses have been close. That one was a little bit wilder. Sawed-off shot to left. Garcia's got to hurry. How about on the run there? Brandon Garcia showcasing a lot of his skill set in that inning. Some great plays to help Lynchburg out defensively, but Salisbury gets their first run of the game. Hornets on top 6-1 heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, since we're having fun, let's give a shout-out to Holden Fiedler, who says that the audio is sounding great, and he says the audio adds so much, especially when you got one camera. That was, I believe they had that one camera feed last weekend with no audio. The one camera feed will be tomorrow. Sorry to break your heart, Holden Fiedler, Brady Moore, all you Lynchburg friends and family and former players tuning in. LHSN is just we're at capacity tomorrow. We've got so much going on campus that we can't make the special delivery trip again. But we encourage you to get down here to Greensboro. What's stopping you, Holden Fiedler and Brady Moore, from coming to the game tomorrow? 2 games tomorrow, actually. Worth pointing out again is Bryce Demery smokes one down the third base line into left field. Demery's around first. Not going to be a play there. And Lynchburg's got a double. I think that's hit number 8 of the game for Lynchburg. We are in the bottom of the 4th, and there's nobody out, and it's 6-1. We're just going to turn this into the party cast at this point. When we get to multiple cameras and we're back at Fox, we're tightening up. That's professional level. That's MLB Network, ESPN level quality. That'll stop your comment in its tracks, and it'll be hit by pitch number 41 for Gavin Collins. We talked about that with Cam Lane, how some of those gaudy numbers hit by pitch would be from maybe a guy rolling into one here or there. Maybe you lean into one. Maybe you don't move when a ball's coming at you. I think that one is not in that category. That one is Gavin Collins just had a fastball hit him in the small of the back that he could not really avoid. There's no real craftiness about that one. That's just a ball from the pitcher that hits you in a spot that is not really comfortable. Runners on first and second for Lynchburg. Nobody out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Lynchburg has had the leadoff man on in every inning. They've had the first 2 batters on in every inning. Just confirming with my box score here, which is a mess, but they've had the first 2 runners reach in every inning. Quinn Madden is the hitter now. Got the bat off his shoulder, but didn't offer at the pitch from Mitchell Whitcamp. Whitcamp, to me, is throwing a little bit harder than the other 2 arms from Salisbury. Can't confirm that. We don't have a gun or anything out here. A radar gun, that is. 2-1 count with runners on first and second. The infield is back. Third baseman's in. At the grass line there, left portion of your screen. 2-1 count to Quinn Madden, junior transfer. Another one he sniffed at but didn't take a swing, and now it's 2-2. Bryce Demery, leadoff double on second. Gavin Collins hit by a pitch on first. So happy for Bryce Demery. Thought it would be a big year for him. We were talking about that in the offseason. Maybe even called it a Bryce Demery takeover year. Not quite there yet, but if he keeps up at this pace, it could happen. Full count. Good take from Madden. That was close. I drew a reaction from the Seagull dugout. Zone, to me, has been pretty good so far tonight. Pretty consistent. I don't know if I'd quite call it hitter-friendly, but it just seems like a good college zone. We'll throw it in that category for now. Nobody out here. Full count coming to Quinn Madden. That one, another one that was not really that close. Scooped up out of the dirt by Ben Anderson, and that is a walk. Walk number 8 Lynchburg has drawn. They have been hit by 2 pitches. The theme and the trends continue for Lynchburg offensively. If you're going to give them free base runners, the Hornets will take it. Here's a guy that got hit by a pitch in his last at bat. Sean Pokerock reached on an error to start inning number 2. Pokey's in for the 3rd time tonight. Lynchburg is really turning the lineup over. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Oh, that ball got by Anderson. Demery's hustling down the line. No throw there, and Lynchburg has scored a run on the wild pitch, passed ball. Wild pitch is the call from Tim LaDuca. Runners move up to second and third. And I keep teasing it, but if Lynchburg could get a big knock here, it really might feel like a knockout blow, to use the boxing reference. It's only round number 4. Fourth round, Lynchburg leads 7-1. On the judges' scorecards, Pokey went looking for it. Center fielder on the way back. He'll make the grab. Gavin Collins tagging at third. He'll come in to score. And Quinn Madden advances to third. A successful sacrifice fly. F8 by Sean Pokerock. RBI there will score Lynchburg's 8th run of the game. Hornets on top, 8-1. Seagulls have another arm getting loose. Another right-hander. This is what Lynchburg needed. This is exactly what Lynchburg needed. A fast start. Josh Jorman is up, by the way. Whitcamp going to go to the windup with Quinn Madden at third. 1 out. Foul ball for Josh Jorman. Jorman is 1 for 2. Flew out to left and got a single in his first at bat, then got thrown out at second base trying to stretch it into a double. Can't fault the hustle there from Josh Jorman. Infield's in again for Salisbury. Strike 2 on Jorman. 0-2 count. Mitchell Whitcamp in the windup. He'll twirl into Jorman. Fouls another one off. Good fight here from Josh Jorman. This is also part of taking all those walks and getting hit by pitches. You got to be able to spoil some pitches. Got to have some long counts. Got to foul some balls off. Lynchburg very good at that. See if Jorman can do it again. 0-2 count on the 5th-year man from Oak Hill, Virginia. Bouncing ball, right side. Madden thought about it. First baseman's going to come up and tag Jorman. Yes, call was just a little delayed, but first base umpire got it. Jorman out on a 3 unassisted. That's the second out of the inning. 8-1. We maybe have a defensive change for Salisbury. Could that be why our box score was messed up, or that's completely unrelated? I needed to bail out there. Brandon Garcia is stepping to the plate for the 4th time tonight. He does not have an official at bat yet. 3 walks so far for Garcia. Got a runner in scoring position here, as Lynchburg can do more damage. Bottom of the 4th inning not over. Whitcamp gave up a double to Demery to start the inning. Hit Gavin Collins. There was a walk to Quinn Madden. The sac fly from Pokerock. Josh Jorman just grounded out. I think Whitcamp's got good stuff. He is the 3rd pitcher the Seagulls have used. 1-1 count. The sophomore hitting left-handed shortstop. Left-handed hitting shortstop, Brandon Garcia, of course, throws right-handed. Saw that defense on display last inning. 1-2 count on Hollywood. BG, number 7, Brandon Garcia. Here's the pitch from Whitcamp. Scrambled Garcia again. Just kind of punched the bat softly there. Maybe the body language indicating Brandon Garcia would have liked to have that ball hit him. 2-2's the count. Garcia is not a guy that gets hit by a pitch a lot, but he'll help the team any way he can. Oh, and that one fooled him just slightly. Inner black for strike 3. It's a backwards K, and that's how the inning will end, but another successful one for the Hornets. They have scored in every frame thus far, and Lynchburg leads Salisbury 8-1. Top of the fifth inning on a Friday night in Greensboro, North Carolina. Lynchburg leading 8-1. I'm Kyle Haney, a special LHSN broadcast. A new hitter in the game is number 12, Alex Seidlich. Seidlich went in to play third base for Trent Ware. This is the number 9 spot in the order. Alex Seidlich. The dugout just yelling out, "Come on, Seed." That helps with the pronunciation. Sometimes you got to use all your senses. Seidlich will hit one softly to Ben Jones that he corrals for the first out of the inning. And Salisbury has reached the top of the order for the third time. This will be Alex Craig. Yes, Alex Craig. 1 for 1 with a walk. Third look at Wesley Arrington. In the top of the fifth inning. Salisbury, we think, our score sheet is a mess, but we think Salisbury has 3 hits on Wesley Arrington. Got them for 3 hits. Wes has walked 2 and hit 1. 3 punch-outs, I think, for Wesley Arrington. That sounds right. Uh-oh, second hit batter. That one got Craig on the protective elbow guard. You could hear that. So now Arrington has hit 2, and there's a runner on first base. Alex Craig, the leadoff man, has reached all 3 times. And 3 different methods as well. Left-handed hitting second baseman Kyle Brex is up now. And now there really is some true activity in the Lynchburg bullpen. Some tossing going on there. Early in the season, you don't expect pitchers to go real deep in games, and it happens. It's typically, baseball fans that are plugged in know this, it's typically a pitch count rather than an inning or a batter count or anything like that. So there's an idea, and it's not always a firm, hard cap of 70 or 80 pitches, whatever. Sometimes it's a feel thing. So many factors, so many nuances. Wes Arrington's a fifth-year man. I think the coaches value his input and his insight as far as how he's feeling. They know that he's going to be trustworthy. Could be a double play ball here. 4, 6, ooh. You got a lot going on here. I think Lynchburg got the first out at second. Salisbury asking for the interference. Lynchburg asking for interference. Salisbury, the throw went out of play. The ball from Brandon Garcia sailed into the netting towards the first base dugout. Now, yeah, the umpire is telling the runner on first, which was the hitter Kyle Brex, to go to second because it was a dead ball. The ball went out of play. Lynchburg gets the out at second. So there's 2 outs now, fans. I'm so bad at that. There's 2 outs. Salisbury coach is talking about the play, the breakdown here. And I think we're now set with Danny Sheeler, the first baseman, hitting with 2 outs and a runner on second. We're in the top of the fifth. 8-1. Troy Brohan is the head coach for Salisbury. And he's in his 10th season. World Series appearances. 4 College World Series appearances. Salisbury website is using that term, College World Series, Tim. That was in 2015, 2021, 22, and 23. They won it in 2021. Brohan is a head coach that has won a Major League World Series as a player and a D3 College World Series. Scott Brocious, the Major League legend Scott Brocious, is the other one to do that. There's some great baseball trivia for you as Arrington falls behind 1-0 to the left-handed hitting first baseman. So I guess the scorekeeping on the last play was 4-6 fielder's choice with an error is how that'll go down. E6 on Brandon Garcia for the wild throw there. Lynchburg arguing it's because he was hit on the slide. 3-0 count to Danny Sheeler. Pokerock pressed into service again to gobble that one up. Sheeler with some nice sportsmanship to toss the mass back to Pokey. Arrington has gotten Sheeler to ground out to second. Struck him out one time as well. There's a fastball that was off the plate outside. That's a walk. Fourth walk that Arrington has issued. He's hit 2. Saw a Lynchburg coach scramble out of the dugout, but that was just to give the umpire more baseballs. Not a conversation with Wes Arrington yet. There are runners on first and second with 2 outs. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Lynchburg has scored in every frame. Salisbury got 1 in the 4th. Well, that was close. That was close to number 13, Dylan Weinbrenner. Struck out once, got hit once. Lynchburg defense back, normal depth. Outfield slightly deeper for Weinbrenner. Pretty much straight up in the outfield. Another close one. Long hold there from Sean Pokerock. Well, that's a lot of times. If you don't have a good vantage point, you can't really tell where the pitch is from where you're sitting. Just watch how long the catcher holds it. Those ones that aren't close, they don't hold them at all. They're just worried about keeping those off the backstop. But the ones that are close, you're going to get the frame. Try to give the umpire a good long look at it, good visual, good presentation. There's another term used. Strike 1 for Arrington. 2-1 count on Dylan Weinbrenner, designated hitter for the Seagulls. Swung on, lifted in the outfield. This is going to be tough. This might not stay in the yard. It's gone. Dylan Weinbrenner pumping one the opposite way. That is a 3-run homer. Arrington gave up the really hard shot to Ben Anderson last inning. Felt like that was the hardest ball we saw hit. We'll scratch that. Weinbrenner got one over the right field fence here at First National Bank Field, and that is a homer. Just under or beside the big scoreboard in your screen there. And all of a sudden, it's a ball game again with Lynchburg leading 8-4. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. It is a great backdrop here in this stadium with the big buildings behind. Downtown Greensboro. Outstanding facility that they have done so much to. I don't want to date myself, but I played a little bit here back in the day. We'll just say back in the day, Tim, and it did not look this nice. It was cool. It was a cool ballpark even then, a very good facility, but they've put so much money into this, and it's really first class now, and a great place to have this D3 Showcase Tournament. That is the official name for it. And perhaps more Division III baseball here in Greensboro in the future. Let's see about Wesley Arrington. He's fallen behind Tim Petroselli, who has a double in this game, by the way. Petroselli wanted more there and fouled that one away to even the count at 1-1. Four hits now for Salisbury. Another close spot there for Wesley Arrington. Although, again, the hold wasn't quite as long from Sean Pokerock, so that tells you a little bit about how close maybe Pokey thought it was. 2-1 count. Arrington to Petroselli. Petroselli's reached twice. It was a fielder's choice another time. A longer hold that time from Sean Pokerock. 3-1's the count. Arrington's going to walk back off the mound. Don't want to read too much into that, but maybe just a slight amount of frustration about the zone there from Wesley Arrington, possibly. Another fastball that'll get tapped backwards, and now it's a full count. You just see the difference there as Wes gets that ball back and just steps right to the mound. previous pitch. He did a little walkabout there. Maybe just gathering himself. It might not necessarily mean he didn't like the call. Ground ball, right side. Ben Jones didn't have to move, gobbles it up, sidearm throw. They got Petroselli out, but Salisbury on the board again with a big fly. They cut things in half here. Lynchburg doubling up the Seagulls at the moment. 8-4 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning in Greensboro. Lynchburg will send 2, 3, 4 up in the bottom of the 5th inning against Salisbury. Conflicting reports on the pronunciations. Pronunciations are always fun because here's the thing. When it's a person's last name, you can just ask them, and they're going to tell you, well, this is how I pronounce it. This is how it's pronounced. With places, it can be a little different because different people have different accents and little different undertones that you hear. And then sometimes that's how you know if somebody's from a place or not. Like, take Alta Vista, Virginia, for example. Of course, Grayson Thurman, who is currently in spring camp with the Toronto Blue Jays organization. We got two birds with one stone on that one. But it's Alta Vista High School where he's from. But if you look at it, it looks like Alta Vista or even Alta Vista if you want to add like a little Hispanic Latin flair to it, which I love. But everybody there says Alta Vista. Buena Vista is another one. Buena Vista, Virginia, the home of the Major League managing legend Charlie Manuel, the World Series winning manager with the Philadelphia Phillies. I hope Laura Porto's happy that we snuck that in. He's from Buena Vista, Virginia. But a lot of people would look at it and say Buena Vista, but it's Buena Vista as O'Kelly McWilliams IV. No pronunciation problems there. Flies out to right field. So, say the names however you want and enjoy the game however you want. That's what I say. Ben Jones is still looking for his first hit tonight. He's walked once, struck out, and popped out to the catcher. One away in the bottom of the 5th. It feels like the Seagulls, that's easy to not get wrong. It feels like the Seagulls could gather some momentum here, particularly if you shut down Lynchburg and don't let the Hornets score in this bottom of the 5th inning. You know, Lynchburg's scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Looks like Ben Jones needs something for the face there. I don't know if this is where he got hit from that ball on a pickoff attempt earlier. Maybe he's got some blood. Maybe he just needed to dab something out of the eye there. It's possible too, but I think Ben Jones is ready. Now the first base umpire is going to walk towards Salisbury dugout and tell coach something there. Now the umpire is going to talk to Ben Jones. Ben Jones, I think, pointed at the eye and said, yeah, I had something in my eye. Can't exactly hit like that. I guess the umpires could charge Lynchburg for one of their offensive timeouts for that, but that doesn't seem like that's the case or anything. 0-2 count on Ben Jones. Back to Salisbury's potential momentum here. Lynchburg scored in every inning, and they still may score in this 5th inning. Check swing on Ben Jones. But if the Seagulls could throw up a donut here, you do that after your offense just hit a 3-run home run, I would argue the Seagulls could be finding themselves right back in this ball game. We know Lynchburg has its hands full. Strikeout on Ben Jones. 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. We knew Lynchburg had their hands full with this great Seagull team. You get out to an 8-1 lead, feel pretty comfortable. All that can change in the blink of an eye or one swing of the bat in the game of baseball. Here's Eric Hyatt. 1 for 2. Walked his first time up. Base hit RBI for Eric Hyatt. Flew out to left his last plate appearance. Runners on in that plate appearance. Hyatt sent the left fielder back, but made the catch just shy of the warning track. 1-0 count on the right-handed hitting designated hitter for Lynchburg. Check swing there, that missed. 2-0. Lynchburg in action for 2 tomorrow. Just keep reminding fans of that. First one at 1:15, I believe, against Cortland. No, Marietta's first. First game tomorrow against Marietta, and then Cortland and Lynchburg around 4 after the conclusion of the previous game. 3-0 count for Eric Hyatt. See if the Hornets turn him loose here. Nope. Ball 4. Well, maybe Hyatt had the green light, but he took it for ball 4. 9th walk Lynchburg has drawn today. And now it's another look at Bryce Demery. 2 games last year for Bryce Demery, but was a big part of the team. He was one of those guys that we talked about in Cedar Rapids that was really behind the cheering section there and the long-range support, even though they weren't that far away from the dugout. And they got some real screen time and face time and so much exposure because of where they were sitting, right behind the catcher. So the classic look, the center field cam look that you always get in baseball, you could see that grouping of Lynchburg players there as Demery hits with an 0-2 count. And they really endeared themselves to a lot of people. It was so much fun. Josh Jorman deserves some credit for being one of the leaders in that group as well. Here's the 0-2 to Demery. Just off the plate, maybe a slightly high as well, 1-2. Eric Hyatt leads off at first base. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. But that was last year, and this is this year for Bryce Demery. He is in the starting lineup in the middle of it. He's got 2 hits already today, a double and a single. Working with a 1-2 count against Whitcamp. Oh, Plunk Demery. Another hit by pitch, 3rd one of the game for Lynchburg. It's a 1-2 count on Demery when he got plunked. It brings up another guy who's been hit in this game. Gavin Collins got bopped the last time he stepped in the batter's box. Collins has walked as well. Officially, he is 1 for 1. Or was that an error that Gavin Collins reached on? We're back to that again. When your score sheet is a mess, you got to ask those questions. Typically, that's why you keep score, so you know that stuff later on, and you don't have to just randomly ask. 1-0 count on Gavin Collins. Runners on first and second. 4th year as a starter for Gavin Collins. I think he's ready for another big year. He's really, you could argue, had 3 of them already. I think he's ready for another one. Collins was looking for maybe a 3-run homer of his own there, but swung and missed. 1-1 the count. Be interested to see if Wesley Arrington comes back for the next inning. Not necessarily just because of the home run, but pitch count definitely a factor at this point in the game for Arrington. It's early in the season. Demery will scamper back on a ball that Ben Anderson came out looking to maybe pick a runner off on again. Count is 2-1. Salisbury with a slight defensive adjustment. Looks like they're giving Gavin Collins that backside gap. Right fielder more pulled towards the first base line. Center fielder just slightly in left. Another hit by pitch. That's another one that Gavin Collins was not trying to roll or lean into at all. That one hit him higher than the last one, up around the shoulder blades or even the trap muscle that Ed Smith has worked so hard to cultivate on Gavin Collins. 4th hit batter of the game. Bases are loaded now. Sacks packed for another guy, another new guy, Quinn Madden. Junior transfer I think has really enjoyed his time with the Lynchburg baseball team so far. He'll enjoy it a lot more if he punches the clock here with 2 down in the bottom of the 5th. He could extend Lynchburg's scoring streak so far. Hornets have gotten a run across, at least one in every inning. I think we got a pitching change coming based on the fact that the Seagull dugout has all jumped out to meet Mitchell Holtkamp. So we will, Mitchell Whitcamp, excuse me. We will greet the new pitcher here in just a moment. Lynchburg leading Salisbury 8-4. Fourth pitcher of record for the Seagulls will be number 15, Garrett Beaver. He's a 6'1", right-handed throwing sophomore from Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. 9 appearances last season, just allowed 1 earned run. Garrett Beaver is in with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lynchburg leading 8-4, but looking for more. With Quinn Madden, the right fielder, in the batter's box. You can, I think, see from that angle the sidearm action there from Garrett Beaver, number 15. Quinn Madden has singled, grounded out to the pitcher, and walked. A 1-for-2 day so far for Quinn Madden. Runners all over for Lynchburg. 2 hit batters and a walk. That's how they got there. O'Kelly McWilliams started the inning with a fly out to right. Ben Jones struck out. So that makes Eric Hyatt at third. Bryce Demery at second. Gavin Collins leads off at first. 1-1 count for Quinn Madden. Off the plate, missed from Garrett Beaver. Another chance for Lynchburg to get some separation against Salisbury. Low inside target there for the catcher. Madden missed. Strike 2. 2-2 count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's been a fun game so far. See if Lynchburg can take some momentum back right here. Swing and a miss. Big punch out from Garrett Beaver. Does the job coming in out of the bullpen to leave 3 runners stranded. Lynchburg does not score. Hornets still lead 8-4 as we head to the top of the 6th here at First National Bank Field in Greensboro, North Carolina. Changes for Lynchburg as Austin Riney takes the mound. Sophomore from Midlothian is in for Wesley Arrington. Arrington in line to get a win as he gets through 5 innings. Surrendered 4 runs on 4 hits. Most recent one was the big one, though, the 3-run home run. Wes walked a batter and hit a batter. That's how the runners were on. 77 pitches for Wesley Arrington. So we mentioned maybe not a hard cap situation as a fly ball from Ben Anderson gets lifted to right field. Quinn Madden is there to pull it in for Lynchburg. That is out number 1. That is not the only change for Lynchburg. Ryan Long is in at second base. Looks to be a straight switch between he and Ben Jones. Ben Jones took that ball diving back to first base. Took that ball that hit him, we think, in the face and had to go get a towel because it looked like maybe the injury started bleeding again. So I'm sure part of the factor there. Ryan Long has already played quite a bit this season. Started at least twice, I think, down on the opening trip to Alabama. Hit by pitch there. We'll get Adam Tomer to first base. I'll check on those numbers for Ryan Long, especially when we see him in the batting order. Austin Riney will work with a runner on first base. Riney has pitched this season already. 3.2 innings down against Birmingham Southern. Got the win. Allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 6. So an outstanding start to the sophomore season for Austin Riney. Just 3 appearances last year. I think that ended up totaling 1 inning of work across the 3 outings. But exactly the start you want from the sophomore left-hander. He's one of the great pieces out of the bullpen for Lynchburg. We knew that the discussions tonight would get to the bullpen at some point. I mean, unless Wesley Arrington threw another complete game that he's so famous for. But a little bit unlikely in late February that would happen. So we knew we'd be talking about the bullpen. Didn't know who would come out first. In this case, it's Austin Riney. He's got an 0-2 count. On the shortstop, Max Earhart. Earhart's grounded to short. His first 2 at-bats. Riney kicks up. Earhart's hit one to the shortstop again. It's going to be a pretty easy double play there. No problem for Brandon Garcia. Inning is over. Maybe Lynchburg has taken the momentum right back. Great job by Riney to throw up a W there in the top of the 6th. Let's see if the Hornets' bats can get hot again in just a moment on LHSN. All right, bottom of the 6th inning here between Lynchburg and Salisbury. Lynchburg comes into the game at 2-1. Number 6th ranked team in the country. Salisbury undefeated at 3-0. Sean Pokerock lifts the first delivery high into the North Carolina night. Tough play there for the left fielder. But Tomer held on to make the grab, and that's out number 1. Josh Jorman, 1 hit so far on the night. It came back in the second inning. Salisbury blanked in the first 3. They scored 1 in the 4th, 3-run homer in the 5th, and then a 0 last inning, thanks to some sharp work from the lefty Austin Riney out of the bullpen. An outstanding defense from Brandon Garcia at short. Garrett Beaver still out there for Salisbury. This one looped over the shortstop. Good play running back to make that grab there by Max Earhart. That's 2 quick outs in this inning. Lynchburg, typically known for those long at-bats. They work counts. They make pitchers have to throw a lot of pitches. 2 pretty early count swings here so far in the 6th inning. Lynchburg's got their hitting system, kind of a hot, cold, green light, yellow light, red light kind of a vibe. So maybe that's part of it. Also, guys can just see a pitch they like and swing on it. I think that's one thing. Lynchburg doesn't handcuff anybody. They just trust these guys to have the plate discipline on their own, figure it out, get a good read on the pitcher. 1-1 count here for Brandon Garcia. 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but 3 walks for Hollywood. Some great defense as the standard. He sets such a high standard, the sophomore from Durham, North Carolina. 2-1. Garrett Beaver, 4th pitcher. Salisbury is used. Lynchburg has used 2. I suspect we'll see Austin Riney for another inning. I'm basing that on a couple things. The fact that he went 3 2/3 last weekend shows Lynchburg's comfortable with him in some longer relief. Also the fact that Lynchburg has 2 games tomorrow. Back to the management of that bullpen. Got to make sure you can get through those games. You never know when you got an extra inning affair or somebody can't make it through a full inning. Ground ball to shortstop. Brandon Garcia is out, 6-3, and that's the end of the inning. 3 up, 3 down for the first time this game for the Hornets. Even last inning where they got blanked, they got runners on, had the bases loaded, but nobody on the sacks this time, and we'll head to the top of the 7th. Hornets lead 8-4. Austin Riney is back for Lynchburg. The sophomore getting set to work his 2nd inning. It'll be against 9-1-2 for Salisbury. This is the sub in the game for the Seagulls. Trent Ware occupied this spot to begin with, playing third base, and then number 12 came in, Alex Seidlich. Seidlich is a right-handed hitting junior from Crownsville, Maryland. 2 balls to start from Austin Riney. Seidlich's another one with no stats on the website. So he didn't play last year. I know that because I've been seeing the previous year's stats. We're not assuming. We're thinking he could be a transfer. As Riney gets across for strike one. It's a 3-1 count on Alex Seidlich. Austin Riney is a sophomore left-handed thrower from Midlothian, Virginia. Seidlich will foul that one off to the right. Now the count is full. Lynchburg will have Ryan Long coming up second. Ryan Long is playing second base right now in place of Ben Jones. O'Kelly McWilliams set to lead off the bottom of the seventh for Lynchburg. Riney working exclusively from the stretch. Fires that one in there. It's in center field. The speedy O'Kelly McWilliams is under it, calls for it, makes the two-handed grab for out number one of the inning. The LHSN Research Department, which is really just another name for Tim LaDuca. He's also the KD Country Research Department, but that's another story. Back to the inside jokes that I said I was going to stay away from. Tim LaDuca has confirmed that Alex Seidlich played his baseball previously at Keystone College, so in his first season with Salisbury. Strike one on the leadoff man, Alex Craig. I think it was a strike, didn't go up on the board yet. There's one out, by the way. And they did get it up on the board, and strike two came quickly after as Austin Riney fires one in there past Alex Craig, who has not been retired yet tonight. One hit for Craig, one walk, one hit by pitch. Here comes Riney with the 0-2. Sat him down for the first time tonight with a lively fastball. That was good from Austin Riney. I'll tell you, I remember at least one of Riney's outings last season. I don't remember that kind of velo, though. That had some sizzle coming off the right hand from Riney. He's been putting that work in. Doug Pond says the audio and video are crystal clear tonight, and he is loving the broadcast. Tap to Riney. He'll have to field his position. Oh, and he stumbled getting to it. Went back and nearly had a chance, but just couldn't quite grasp it in time. Kyle Brex is on with what I think is going to be a base hit. That has been confirmed. First hit, that Riney has been, that has surrendered, rather. Doug Pond. You have got to love that guy. Doug, I'm going to see you at an ODU game. I'm telling you, I'm just going to pop down there one day when you least expect it. This turned into the LHSN party cast. This is fun. Ball one on Danny Sheeler. Tim LaDuca just made the comment, as long as we're winning by 4. If the score changes, we got to tighten up and get serious. Breaking ball missed. 2-0 count for the first baseman, Danny Sheeler. 0 for 2, struck out once, walked once. Kyle Brex leads off at first base. Two outs in the top of the 7th. There's that sizzle again. I don't know how well you can see that. Doug Pond says it's crystal clear, but again, our camera angle's a little far away here. But that ball's got some life off the left hand of Austin Riney. That one nearly hit Danny Sheeler. Count is 3-1. Good stuff so far from Riney. Here's the pitch. Might have taken something off that. Could have been a slider. And now the count is full, 3-2. 2 outs. Again, both dugouts coming alive. Gotta love that element of college baseball. You get some volume from the dugouts. Airborne. This is deep. And Bryce Demery will pull it in just in front of the warning track. O'Kelly McWilliams was on the way over there, but Bryce Demery had it no problem. One runner stranded. Lynchburg leads 8-4. We are going to the bottom of the 7th. Lynchburg statistically has left 11 runners on base offensively. Lynchburg has left 11 runners stranded. So 8 runs for the Hornets. It could be a lot more. I've always made that argument that the runners left on base is a little bit of a misleading stat because the teams that score more runs are probably going to leave more runners on base just because they're getting more runners on base. McWilliams shows a bunt, pulls it back, ends up being ball 1. Garrett Beaver still out there for Salisbury. Lynchburg has, by my count, 8 hits. 8 hits as a team. They have not had a hit since the 4th inning, though. We're in the bottom of the 7th right now. Lynchburg left 3 stranded in the 5th inning without getting a base hit. That was a walk and 2 hit by pitches. McWilliams took a slash at one and sent it out of play, and it got Tim LaDuca's attention as it scattered the Salisbury dugout. I think everybody's okay. You see a lot more fields now that have a fuller railing in front of the dugout. But I will say, pretty much every big league field has the half railing like that. McWilliams a little out front on that 2-strike delivery, but manages to get enough metal on it to stay alive. 1-2 coming up. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Ryan Long will be due up next for Lynchburg unless there's another change, but Ryan Long is in that spot in the batting order right now. Off-speed pitch. Slurvy sidearm delivery. Say that 3 times fast. From Garrett Beaver will retire O'Kelly McWilliams on strikes. Ryan Long is coming to the batter's box. Ben Jones will end his day with 2 strikeouts, a walk, and he popped up to the catcher. Made some fine defensive plays, did Ben Jones. But out early, we think, because of an injury sustained on a throw, trying to pick him off down at first base. So we get to see Ryan Long, a senior, who's got a pretty extensive body of work himself for Lynchburg. He was a 3rd-team All-ODAC player his junior season. He was a 3rd-team All-ODAC player his freshman year. It was 2021 that Ryan Long was 3rd-team All-ODAC. Played 44 games that season. Another off-speed pitch from Beaver. Boy, he pulls the string on that. Make you look bad in a hurry. 1-2 count with 1 out to Ryan Long. Ryan Long played 33 games last year. He was mainly a defensive replacement towards the end of the year. Another off-speed pitch, and it's another strikeout. Ryan Long goes down swinging. Short trip that at bat, so we'll have to run down Ryan Long's career accomplishments a bit more another time. Eric Hyatt will hit with 2 outs. 2 outs for Eric Hyatt. He's 1 for 2 with 2 walks, an RBI, flew out to left, ball that he hit well. So now, if you're Lynchburg, you've gotten some looks at Garrett Beaver. You've gotten some looks at that quality off-speed pitch. He's twirling in there. So you're a little bit more ready to handle that if you're Eric Hyatt. Still doesn't mean it's going to be easy. You don't know when Beaver's going to throw it. It's danger in sitting on an off-speed pitch because then fastball becomes burning by you. 1-1 count. It did look to be the heater that Hyatt took for strike 2. 1-2, 2 outs. Bottom 7. Lynchburg leads 8-4. They haven't scored since the 4th. Here's the pitch. Check swing, got him. Not even really a full check swing there. Think Hyatt thought it was low, doesn't matter. 3 punch outs for Garrett Beaver. He is rolling and keeping the Seagulls in this game. We're through 7 complete. Lynchburg leads Salisbury 8-4. It's Kyle Haney with an LHSN special. We don't usually go on the road. We like to. We just don't usually do it. My navigator tonight, Tim LaDuca. We are having a ball with you. Lynchburg having some fun so far. It hasn't been easy. Never is against quality opposition. Number 13, Dylan Weinbrenner is the designated hitter. He's got a 1-0 count. He hit the 3-run home run that really got Salisbury right back in this thing. Gosh, he didn't even take the full hack at that and sent it 2/3 of the way to the wall. That's a double for Weinbrenner. Second extra base hit. Salisbury gathering some more momentum. I have that as being Salisbury's 6th hit of the game. Riney has surrendered 2. Wesley Arrington started this one. Went 5 complete. Riney not quite the true 3-up, 3-down in the 6th inning. Did hit a batter, but then a double play happened shortly after that. Allowed 1 hit in the 7th. And here we go. It's a leadoff double in the top of the 8th. Things happening in the Lynchburg bullpen. Swing and miss from Tim Petroselli. He came up empty on a big hack. Petroselli has a double in this game. One of 3 extra base hits for Salisbury. I think Lynchburg just has the 1. I think Bryce Demery's double is the only extra base hit for the Hornets. Good pitch there from Riney. Looks like he took something off of that again. 0-2 count. Sorry, we are in the top of the 8th. Info on your screen is correct again. We're about 70% on that. Riney holds, delivers up the middle. Brandon Garcia is there. Strong throw across, good stretch from Josh Jorman. And that's out number 1 of the inning. Talked about Brandon Garcia's great defense, but let's throw the spotlight on Josh Jorman a little bit as well. He can make infielders look really good with the way he stretches over there. Very sure hands. Jorman has made a play himself in this game. 3 unassisted. Back, it was in the 3rd inning. Ball 1 for Austin Riney, pitching to Ben Anderson. Anderson's 1 for 3. Infield is back for Lynchburg. They'll give up the run for the out right here. Swing and miss from Anderson, 1-1 count. Outfield, regular depth, pretty much straight away. The right fielder, Quinn Madden, may be slightly in that left center gap, or right center gap, rather. Quinn Madden in right field for Lynchburg. 1-1. Riney kicks and fires. Ground ball to second base. That's Ryan Long. It was pretty hot, but he handles it. And Lynchburg does trade the out for the run. 2 outs. 8-5 is your score. As Dylan Weinbrenner comes around. I think Weinbrenner scored 3 times today. So he's going to have a heck of a box score. Homer, double, hit by pitch. Scored 3 times. 3 RBI for Weinbrenner so far. Ideally, if you're Lynchburg, you don't face him again. We are in the top of the 8th inning here. That's going to be the plan. It's a 3-run lead now for Lynchburg. Hornets got up 8-1 at one point. Another ground ball. Ryan Long's there again, fields it. 3/4 throw over to the right side. And Josh Jorman's got it, no problem. The inning is over. Salisbury scores 1. They leave none stranded. And Lynchburg has a 3-run lead. They'll look to add some insurance in the bottom of the 8th inning. The LHSN broadcast is Cube approved. We thank you for listening here on this Friday night. Turned into a late Friday night. Bryce Demery has had a good Friday night. 2 for 3 with a double. Got hit one time, swinging at the first one. Throw across the diamond gets Demery in plenty of time. That was Max Earhart. 1 away in the bottom of the 8th. Gavin Collins. He has physically put his body on the line in this game. He's been hit his last 2 plate appearances. Gavin Collins is 1 for 1. 2 hit by pitch, 1 walk. He scored 1 time, 1 run scored, I think, for Gavin Collins. Strike 1 is in there from the side-arming Garrett Beaver, who seems to be getting better and better as he continues working. Off-speed pitch. Collins could not lay off. It's an 0-2 count. Salisbury's got 8-9-1 coming up. Wonder if we'll see Mason McDowell maybe for the 9th inning. Strikeout looking for Gavin Collins. 2 outs pretty quickly here in the bottom of the 8th. We're thinking maybe Mason McDowell to close. Perhaps Jack Batchmore will not be available in this one, fans. That is the report from the Lynchburg coaching staff. Could be some other options as well. It may not be Mason McDowell. Maybe Austin Riney to go out there and try to shut it down. Strike 1 at the knees there on Quinn Madden. Madden is 1 for 3. Walking to strike out for the junior transfer. Believe Quinn Madden did not play in the Friday game against East Texas Baptist, but was in there for the other 2 contests last weekend. 0-2 pretty quick. That one was up and away from Garrett Beaver. Beaver has impressed as his work has gone on. Yeah, and that's exactly what it was for Quinn Madden. Came into this game 1 for 9. He's added to that hit total. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Madden was 1 for 5 against Birmingham Southern. 0 for 4 with a run scored against Milliken. Swing and miss. That's strike 3. And that's the end of the 8th inning. Here we go, top of the 9th. Let's see if Lynchburg can slam the door and get a victory over the number 2 team in the nation. We'll find out next on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It looks like the sophomore, number 13, Mason McDowell, is on to try to close it out for Lynchburg. They sport a 3-run lead. McDowell will face 8-9-1 in this Salisbury lineup. McDowell is the sophomore from Fishersville, Virginia. Maximum Mason got in 20 games for Lynchburg last year. 3 of those as a hitter, 17 pitching appearances, and his rise in the second half of the season through the playoffs was one of the great stories last season, and you could argue one of the big reasons why Lynchburg won it all last year as the national champs. McDowell's first career save came in Cedar Rapids, that victory on June 2nd against Wisconsin lacrosse. He also pitched in the Super Regional. He pitched some other times in Cedar Rapids in the championship series against Johns Hopkins. Mason McDowell is a true two-way player. Got some time as a shortstop last year. Is still very well thought of as a hitter for this team, but high value on the mound for Mason McDowell. He's already 1-1 on the season. Let me just double check that. He's pitched in 2 games. 2-0 count right now to the shortstop, Max Earhart. Swung on, hit to left. We think we got a new left fielder out there. Might be Ethan Morotsky to pull that in. Waiting for a signal from the umpire. No, it's just a foul ball. Just a foul ball down there in deep left field. Tim LeDuc is checking on that. It might be Ethan Morotsky out there. And I was wrong about Mason McDowell, fans. He's 1-0 on the mound this year. Got a win in 3 innings of work against Milliken. He did pitch 2 1/3 against ETBU. So over 5 innings of work in one weekend, last weekend for Mason McDowell. That leads you to think, as he gets a swinging strike to make it a 2-2 count, that leads you to think that if the pitch count stays low enough here in this game, Mason would be available some tomorrow. But you just never know. Sometimes you wake up and it's a little bit tighter. And that's, again, back to the conversations. How about a strikeout there for Mason McDowell? He really looks like he's pumping it. Great velocity for Maximum Mason last season. Seems like that's only gotten better here in his sophomore campaign. I think we got a new hitter up right here. See the batter reporting to the home plate umpire. Check the numbers. This is fun. Looks like number 21 there, wasn't it, Tim? That'll be Andrew Kell hitting for Salisbury. Andrew Kell is a junior from Columbia, Maryland. Had a pinch hit 2-run double in Salisbury's Super Regional clincher last year. So he, like Maximum Mason, had some exciting stuff happen in the postseason for his ball club. 1-0 count. 1 out. There is 1 out. We are in the top of the 9th inning. Lynchburg leads 8-5. 2-0 to the new man, Andrew Kell. Kell with the wide stance, slightly open. Looked like McDowell might have gone with a breaking ball there. It's strike 1. Lynchburg's outfield is medium deep. Sometimes in these situations, you go to the no doubles defense where you get guys a little bit deeper, have your corner infielders hug the lines a bit. Don't really see that from the defensive configuration right now. McDowell hits Kell, and he is on first. Looks like a pinch runner now. So all sorts of changes happening. Fresh legs out there for Salisbury. You would assume more speed than Kell had to offer. Leadoff man Alex Craig is up. There is a pinch runner at first. The number was obscured from me, Tim, as we try to figure it out together. And we will. But, well, you never know. Lynchburg defense so good at turning double plays, we may not have a great chance to figure it out. Remember, that was a category that Lynchburg led the nation in last year, fans. Infield defense and the defensive play in general, so good for Lynchburg last year. Outfield defense was elite for Lynchburg. Strike 1 for Mason McDowell on Alex Craig. 1 out here in the 9th inning. That looked like a really good spot from McDowell, but must have just missed. 1-1. Craig is 1 for 2. He's also walked and been hit by a pitch. Lynchburg looking to hand Salisbury their first loss of the early season so far. Salisbury swept Cortland in 3 games last weekend. McDowell's ready with a 2-1 delivery. Inside fastball, just missed. McDowell active, lively on the mound. kind of bouncing around out there. I think he's just getting more and more confidence his sophomore season. He had confidence last year. I mean, he was in some big spots for a freshman. Oh, yeah, pumped that one by Alex Craig. I think Alex Craig thought he was there for that, but he ended up being a split second too late. Count is full. Runner on first is insignificant, so you wouldn't think a steal would be in play, but I guess you never know. Oh, yes. Another heater from McDowell. Sits down Craig, and Lynchburg is 1 out away now. 2 down in the top of the 9th. The hitter is Kyle Brex. Second baseman for Salisbury, has 1 hit today. That was in his previous at-bat, his most recent at-bat. Left-handed swinger. Jorman was behind the runner at first because, again, back to Salisbury's down 3, so that runner at first doesn't really mean a lot, but you also probably don't want him to wander off. You'd like to keep the force in play. Gavin Collins is in on the grass at third. Fastball just missed, low and away for Mason McDowell. Sophomore gets it back. One quick look at the runner at first, and now he's ready to work again. There's definitely some value in keeping that force in order, so don't mind having Jorman holding him on. Left-handed swinger Bregg, you think might be a candidate to pull it. You'd like to have Jorman with some more range over there. Of course, with McDowell's velocity, maybe you don't really have to worry about a ball yanked down the first base line as much. But all those little nuances to the game are what makes it so much fun, isn't it, fans? So the more you know, the more fun it gets. Jorman will set up right behind the runner now, which I kind of like, kind of an intermediate between the regular depth and holding him on. You got a little bit more range that way. Strike 1 for Mason McDowell. 2-1 is the count. 2 outs. It's a top 10 matchup. Lynchburg, number 6. Salisbury, number 2. McDowell got the top edge of the zone there with that one, and now it's a 2-2 count. Lynchburg dugout as boisterous as they have been all game. And why wouldn't they be? McDowell's 1 pitch away. Outside target from Pokerock. Here it comes. Missed. Count will be full. And the runner at first will be off on the pitch. Now you're going to see Jorman slide back even more to maybe a true first base depth. Thinking McDowell's going to go hard here, full count? Maybe, never know. Looks like a middle target from Pokerock. There's the pitch, ball in the air, it's foul. We'll do it again here in just a second. Nice, dramatic finish. Lynchburg's up 3, but baseball fans know 3 runs is nothing in this game. And it is very, very exciting to think about. 2 teams testing themselves against the best. Great individual play, great team play. Here comes Mason McDowell. Fastball missed. Really long hold from Sean Pokerock to no avail. That's a walk. And now the tying run is in the batter's box. Back to what I just said about 3-run leads. Sometimes to the casual fan, they seem comfortable. But baseball minds know anything but comfortable, especially against quality opposition. And now it's the 3-hole hitter, Danny Sheeler, up for Salisbury. Lynchburg's had a pretty good game plan against Sheeler. He doesn't have any hits. He's reached on a walk, but 0 for 3 with a strikeout for Sheeler. The guy they have not had as much success against is waiting on deck. That's Dylan Weinbrenner. All he's done is doubled and homered in this game. You ideally do not want to face Weinbrenner with the bases loaded or with, say, 2 runners on and just a 2-run lead. Yeah, you don't want that if you're Lynchburg. And Coach Travis Beasley, sensing that, knowing that, decided to take the visit to Mason McDowell. Sean Pokerock involved, just reviewing the game plan against Danny Sheeler, who is 0 for 3 with 1 walk. Wesley Arrington started this game for Lynchburg, pitched effectively, 5 complete, Austin Riney pitched innings 6, 7, and 8. Did surrender 1 run. That's where we are. Lynchburg with an 8-5 lead. Lynchburg actually has not scored or gotten a hit since the 4th inning. Offense was hot early. This might do it right here. Comebacker to McDowell. Step and throw. It was a little high, but Jorman held on. Josh Jorman held on. Back to his value at first base. Great stuff there from Josh Jorman. Mason McDowell may be thinking, I'd love to have the throw back, but he got the job done. Box checked. Lynchburg knocks off the number 2 team in the country. Hornets beat the Seagulls 8-5. Lynchburg moves to 3-1 on the season. Salisbury now 3-1 as they taste defeat for the first time. Lynchburg will take on number 8 Marietta tomorrow. 1:15 first pitch scheduled here at First National Bank Field. We encourage you to get down here and see it in person if you can, fans, and it will be a doubleheader tomorrow as Lynchburg will turn around in the second game of the double dip and take on the number 10 ranked team in the country, Cortland. We'll say so long here from what was a really, really fun broadcast. We're going to try to tighten it up by the time Wednesday rolls around. That'll be the first home game for Lynchburg. They'll be at Fox Field for a 2 p.m. first pitch against the Pfeiffer Falcons. You'll be able to see that live on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Kyle Haney and Tim LaDuca saying so long. Make sure you stay plugged in. LynchburgSports.com. Sign up for those email alerts. Tim is telling me to get that in every game, and I'm going to. The email alerts are so great. You can stay up to date with everything going on at the University of Lynchburg. Hornets win it. Nice win for Wesley Arrington. Great stuff from Austin Riney. Mason McDowell closes it down. The offense plates 8, and Lynchburg moves to 3-1 on the season. They'll be back in action tomorrow right here at First National Bank Field in Greensboro for 2 games. Marietta first, and then Cortland. Hope you have a great Friday night, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.